it's me again, and I'm going to be playing Minecraft Eternal again, and I'm just going to see what else I could do.
The thing is this: if there are racists in this office, we're gonna.
Here we go.
And I am joined by Angela, and returning once again, our guest Mac Does It. Always good to have you here.
Excited to be here.
This is like your 50th episode.
I believe so. Feels like it.
Oh my god.
Just gonna let
First one with
this.
you, though.
I know, I'm so excited.
All right. Well, all about the updates. So every story, assume there's gonna be more.
I'm all about that
Okay.
face.
Oh God.
No trouble. See, I support. You know.
Let's get into this. Okay, this first one from
Oh, why
Best
is
Predator
it-
Updates. Originally, it was from Off My Chest. This is a 34-year-old
Did I?
woman.
Oh, yeah.
Boyfriend,
Yeah, I did.
who's 31, woke me up at 2 a.m. to make him dinner. I made him leave instead. I am seriously never dating again. No advice needed, just one vent. Throw away for the usual reasons. So I became official with this guy a couple months ago. He was sweet, kind, funny, gorgeous, the usual stuff. Everything was fine. We'd stay at each other's places, have date nights, general relationship stuff. In short, no red flags, a couple beige ones here and there, but everyone has those. Then came the other night. He's currently having to pick up the slack at his job due to multiple people quitting. We decided to spend the weekend at my place, as his roommates can be quite loud and he needed to concentrate on fixing a system at his job so he can remotely work. Friday is fine. We stay in between his work, we do the usual couple stuff. Saturday comes and something has gone wrong and the stress is doubled, so he isn't eating anything I make, which is fine. I simply remind him there are leftovers in the fridge. By 11 p.m., he's still working, so I head to bed. I am then startled awake by him at 2 a.m. shaking me, telling me he's hungry now. Confused, I remind him about the leftovers and turn over to go back to sleep, but he gets grumpy and tells me I need to make him something fresh now. I'm honestly completely confused and so sleepy while he rattles on about coconut shrimp or something. Still half asleep, I just stare at him as I try to work out what the f is happening. I'm guessing my silence pissed him off as he started having to go at me for not doing my duty as his girlfriend. That woke me up fully and I told him to get out of my house. His attitude changed then and he was apologizing. But I just repeated myself and eventually he left the room. I followed him, picked up his stuff, put it into a bag, and once again told him to get out. He looked like a deer in headlights. He kept trying to say sorry and hug me, and it was only when I threw his car keys into his arms that he realized I was serious and left. This was Sunday morning. It's now Monday night, and I still refuse to speak to him. He's tried calling and texting, but I'm honestly just annoyed and dumbfounded. I know I'll have to speak to him at some point, but I don't want to. He's an idiot. If/when I do speak to him, I'll update. For now, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, I should probably put my shit away. Damn it.
This is great.
Babe, wake up. I'm hungry. Babe, I'm hungry.
There's coconut shrimp in the fridge.
I don't want coconut shrimp.
Just
Well,
put it
how
down,
I want
damn
fried
it.
salmon. Babe.
Wow.
You know what's insane is we've read another story on this show about a guy bringing a cutting board
Cutting board. That was like one of
to
my
his
first ones, I think.
girlfriend in bed so that she could cut food.
But that was not because he thought she should do it. It was because he couldn't do it. He couldn't chop it. This is like, he believes, I mean, maybe, is this guy drunk? Did he say that?
You know, that's a She did not say that. I think she would know. I think she would know
She would have said that.
if he was
Yeah.
drunk.
Because that's the
That's what
only understanding thing I could give him.
Or
Maybe
so
he's like,
high.
I need help.
Yeah, but no.
I'm hungry.
No, and I don't think he is drunk because he flipped
He's
to
a-
apologize.
And he has work or whatever, right? He has something important.
Yeah. This just kind of falls in line with what we see so often, which is dudes refusing to cook and just needing a girlfriend or a wife to cook
Just
for
put
them
it
and
on the
refusing
thing.
to even heat up leftovers. I'm amazed by it. This is probably the farthest it's ever gone.
It's like so hard for me to. That's why I think I keep picturing him drunk because I cannot picture a grounded man being like, "Get up! I can't do this by myself."
Like smartphones exist, Google exists, you
Yeah.
can follow a recipe.
Literally,
Um,
like you can order Postmates via your frickin' Siri now.
do anything.
You're
Seen it all.
freaking zero.
You can't.
And then he just goes, Siri, make me dinner. It's like, can't, dude.
It's like, what a bitch.
Couple comments here. A 31-year-old man shakes his sleeping girlfriend awake because he wants fresh food in the middle of the night. He's a man-child and not a thoughtful partner. Good for you for tossing him out. Baby boy should have acted like a grown-up and ate the leftovers like you told him to. Grow the fuck up. Someone else said the utter audacity of this man, like he's your newborn baby needing a 2 a.m. feed, and coconut shrimp at that. That's so much work at any time of day. Lastly, someone said, wow, you are so lucky he showed you who he is so early in the relationship. Usually people try to hide their worst and unacceptable characteristics in the beginning. Good for you for getting rid of that entitled, chauvinistic man-child.
Oh no.
Let's see.
Is there an update?
Did she
Like
talk?
a bad update where they're
Talk
like,
to man
I
child.
don't know if it's good or bad. I'm
That's
trying to
what I'm
see.
worried about. She
I'm
might-
trying to see how long they've been dating.
We got married.
yeah, exactly.
That, yeah. So they became official a couple months ago.
Damn it,
But
how's that
yeah,
called?
that comment's interesting about people hiding who they are.
Strafe.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder like how often people are purposefully hiding this shit, like they know it's wrong, or it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's
I feel like in the dating world, people will probably like develop habits of hiding who they are because it's easier to hide it than change it.
That's so
And if you
ridiculous.
keep getting met with like broken up with when something about you, you know what I mean? Like it's like if you keep doing a behavior that someone's like, I don't like this, and then they break up with you, and it's harder for you to change it, you just start to hide it in every relationship. So
Yeah.
you can
Just learn how to cook.
but also, yeah, just like figure out the microwave.
he does say like, she's not doing her duty.
Yeah, that's the
So
hard.
this does come down to a like legitimate belief that he has.
Exactly, that he's
Not
probably
just a
hiding.
behavior.
But that's what I'm saying. He's probably hiding that because he's been told before that that's
Come
just a
on.
really old-fashioned
Let
and
me
Yeah.
place it
bad
down,
way of
please,
thinking.
Okay. What are our predictions?
Alright,
On
that
the
works, I
subject.
guess.
They got married. I want to say they got married.
You think she's gonna get back with him?
Or I think he
feel it.
came crawling back, asked for an apology, and she said okay, and then he did something else stupid again.
I think he's gonna try to do some grand gesture, like he's like taking cooking classes,
Yeah,
and she's gonna still be like,
yeah.
okay, let's.
And it's Bobby Flay.
He opened up one magazine of Bon Appetit.
Okay, this update comes the next day.
Okay.
So, holy sweet Jeebus, that's a lot of notifications. Thank you for your overwhelming support. Glad to know I'm not the only one who thinks this is stupid. Also, the ones who said I should have just done it or agreed with the man-child. Thank you. I needed to laugh today. On to the update. He came to my job to talk and explain that his friends saw a video of a woman being woken up to cook for her man, and they decided to test it out on their partners as a loyalty test, so my initial judgment of him being an idiot was correct. He was surprised when I broke up with him, but he was calm and accepting, albeit sad. Either way, that's over with. To answer a few concerns, nope, no drugs, just bad judgment. No mental health concerns. Yes, he's stressed, but it's surface stress that'll be fine once his work hires some new people, I'm sure. Honestly, not my concern anymore. Someone mentioned unconditional love. The relationship was less than 3 months. Chill out. Seriously though, thank you for
should
even
be
taking the time to read my
later.
sleepy ramblings. I'm gonna buy myself a nice bottle of wine once I finish work as a thank you to myself for not settling. Until next time. Okay, so he and his buddy saw a video of a woman being woken up by their partner and then cooking for them. And they all decided to try it on their partner as a loyalty test.
And he said that the next day.
We
Said
believe
that the
this?
next day.
Do we believe this?
It's not a good excuse. I can't believe how delusional so many dudes are.
Baby, it was a dare. It was a dare.
They
It was a
double dog
dare.
dared me. I had to.
It was a prank, bro.
It was a challenge. It was a video. It
down.
was a video challenge.
I'm surprised. Like if he got that response from her, I am surprised he didn't go like I'm just messing
100%.
with you.
That's why I don't vilify it, like what you said, because if she freaked out,
And you waited 24 hours to be like, it was a joke. Like,
yeah,
Yeah, he was cooking that up.
yeah,
The only cooking he's doing.
awesome.
We did see a friendship test in a different video where a girl was getting married and she told her friend she wanted her to wear white to her wedding. And then when she did wear white, she like freaked out on her. And she's like, that was a friendship test and you failed. I think tests in general towards friends, loved ones, I think are always dumb.
You passed
Like,
it.
don't test your
Yeah.
friends or people you love. Tell them what you want or need
Yeah.
and then communicate it. That's crazy. But yeah, I don't know if I believe him either. This guy sucks. He's just weird.
And he like went
He's
to her
31.
work, and again not respecting what she's doing in the current moment. He wakes her up, not respecting that she's asleep, and then goes to her work, and he's like, "Let's talk now."
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait till she gets home and say your elaborate lie.
This would be bad if the dude was 18. He's 31. That's a full grown ass man.
But is it?
No. No, it's effectively a baby in a mech suit, but
It's two toddlers
Can
in
you
a trench
cook?
coat. Yeah, do you need me to? I'll leave the video in
Right,
now.
Can you cook?
I learned to cook because I lived alone for a long time.
Can you?
Yeah, I can cook. I've learned how to cook since I was like 10,
It's
12.
kind of like,
See, I didn't until I was older.
I understand
it's
like
one
being
guy,
overwhelmed
I
by
mean,
it or trying to be good at it is hard, but like cracking an egg and like,
Yeah. To be like exceptional at cooking is really hard, but I think to cook something good enough is pretty easy.
yeah.
Yeah, you.
But most of these dudes,
You see me?
Yeah.
It's not a matter of like.
You
it's
see me?
never, It's
Come on.
never. Oh, I'm scared to
You-
cook. Or I'm not good. It's your duty to cook. I
Yeah.
don't do that. So they're dumb. Anyway,
What was his duty? Because she cooked. She also has a job. We've noticed her.
well, that's
So,
furthermore an issue.
What was he doing? You know?
There we go.
That's true.
Did he have a job? He had time to go to her work, so it's
So
like.
he was probably hunting and gathering, so she could cook the hunting
Yeah.
and gathering.
He shot an elk with
Yeah.
a bow and arrow.
And he's like, babe, wake up, make the eagle like shot.
Make the eagle.
Did I
a
really
shot.
just miss that? Like a video?
The
Come
eagle?
on.
I was trying to think of the most old-fashioned shit I could think of, and that was the first thing that came to my brain.
He's a terrible hunter. He shot
And
an
that's like
eagle.
illegal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's okay.
The second I said it, I was like,
Our next one comes from Best of Reddit updates and from just the advice
Okay.
subreddit. So it's a 25-year-old man. I have the chance to date my old high school crush, a 25-year-old woman, but I'm engaged
Oh
to
my
my
God.
fiance, a 24-year-old woman. What do I do?
I love you.
Guys, what does he do?
Well,
Let me find the answer. What?
I had a crush on this girl, Carla, since middle school, going into high school, but she never paid me no mind. I left for the military and met Sarah, who is a nurse and wants to become a doctor-nurse practitioner. Sarah was the usual type of girl I dated. I left the military to do contracting work and moved back to my home state. One day, while I was getting
For the
drinks at the
days I
bar,
wish I had.
Carla was my bartender. She didn't recognize me, but when I told her my name, she couldn't believe it. She said she couldn't believe how much I changed. I started becoming a regular and eventually exchanged contact information with her to catch up. Throughout this time, she told me she has a crush on me, even though she knows I have a fiance. She said she likes how driven I am. Now I'm conflicted. She says that she will give me time to think about what I want to do. My fiance and I are doing great, but I feel like she's normally the type of woman I always get. With Carla, I never had the opportunity or thought that I would. I don't want to hurt Sarah, but I feel like I would regret this forever if I don't pursue it.
Alright, buddy. Hi, buddy.
That's it? Oh, my God.
Okay,
Buddy,
can I say something kind of controversial? Not. You'll see
I'm
where I'm
scared.
going. You're gonna see where I'm going. If I was in this subreddit,
We know who your wife is.
yes. If I was in this subreddit, if I happen to come across this post, I'm not someone who posts on
Yeah.
on Reddit. I just read shit like this. But, and I'm curious if one of the commenters said this. I might tell him, be like, go for the
Why did it have
bartender.
to be
Yeah,
now?
Because
Because
this
it's no
woman,
skin off our back.
this woman needs to not be with this guy.
Mhm.
He's going to cheat on her eventually.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she's an absolute red flag.
Shit.
He is going to cheat on his wife.
I don't know.
The way he's talking about his wife is so disrespectful.
Yeah, you're right.
The way he's like,
God.
oh yeah, she's the type I usually get.
Yeah,
But now I have an
I
opportunity.
wasn't even like listening to
What
it.
he's
Like,
saying
I
is,
Come on,
serious?
yeah.
what he's saying is he's waiting for that opportunity for the rest of his life.
You are so right. What do you think? You're upset. You're visibly
It's just, yeah, but it's not like...
He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, it's
Let's be clear.
It took him just one girl who never paid him any attention. And
Oh.
you're kind of cute. And then suddenly he's like, what if I don't want to get married?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
He's like, well, something's wrong with her because she didn't give me attention, and I have to fix that before I go down the aisle.
It's already in cheating territory because he clearly became a regular to go and talk to her.
Mhm.
Right? Like, this is already at a stage where if he told his wife what he's been doing, she might be like, I'm calling off this marriage because this is a red flag. Like, it's already in that territory.
Yeah.
Did you already say that the girl was saying she's waiting for what he's going to do?
She said,
Fuck
yeah,
off.
now I'm conflicted. She says that she will give me time to think about what I want to do. She's also
Well,
toxic.
she's part of, the situation.
She's toxic, but
I also feel like maybe it's like in media, but I feel like the like someone who it didn't work with, like the person that's what was the person that
the one that got away.
the one that got away is so romanticized. And sometimes it's like
100%.
he's like this is pretty romantic that it never really worked, and maybe there is something there. Because in my head, it's like sometimes I'm like, oh, you know, like maybe that is. I don't know. Like just reading it, I'm like, oh, despite how disrespectful this man is, it's like, oh, maybe, yeah. I guess you should check that out. But that's like so over dramatized and just like a fairy tale.
Well, if you meet someone back in middle
Okay.
school and you haven't seen them in
Well,
10 years, that's a different
that's the
person.
thing that happened.
Exactly. You're not gonna be like you're the exact same you
Hey,
were during
Matthew.
kickball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just put
Also,
waterproofing
I
stuff
think it's
on
very
my
clear
boots.
what he's really talking
They're
about. is
sitting by
looks.
the stove, so
He's
they need
not
to
talking
not
about like,
be
oh
touched
yeah,
and dry.
she's
Just
someone I
don't touch
gel
them.
with, and
Okay.
like we get along so much better. He's just like, oh, she's not the type. You're only talking about looks,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah, no,
And
Kyle.
he's like
Yeah.
giving himself credit to do it because it didn't work
On my
before.
new
Oh, I
boots,
know.
Yeah.
they're sitting by
he's
the
trying to
stove.
make himself
Please, they need
seem
to
like
dry,
he's
not
in
be
the
touched.
clear for this.
Please don't touch
These are.
I see. I
I
just
put
want
waterproofing on my
fiance to
boots.
find
They're
out.
by the
Yeah.
stove.
So
Don't touch them.
Because I think even if he goes, oh, you know what? Never mind. That's enough already to be like,
Yeah.
hey, you should read
Yeah.
this guy.
Is there an update? There's an update then, right?
This is my favorite
Well,
kind of shit.
No.
Let's read some comments.
Oh
here.
no.
Starting to become a regular at the bar. No, you're going to visit your crush. Exchange numbers while in a relationship. Cheating is a series of choices, and it starts here. You know, most people wait for these types of opportunities when their high school crush
I
or
got
bully
wood
meets them
keys,
later in life, and they get their glow up revenge, double middle fingers in the air, because now they look better and are doing better in life than their high school counterpart. Instead of doing that, you're thinking about trying to get laid by someone who didn't give you the time of day in high school while you have a fiance. The joke is you'll end up with neither of them. Opie responded, "What are you talking about?" In a later comment, he said, he said, "Neither Carla or I are looking for sex. She was clear that she wants a relationship."
So,
Okay, yeah. Oh, guys, don't worry.
Yeah, she doesn't want sex.
she just wants to hold hands.
Someone said, by all means, break up so your fiance can find someone worthy of her because you aren't.
Yeah.
Lastly, someone said, Sarah deserves someone who actually loves her, not someone who is afraid he is settling for her. She deserves to know you're not fully committed to her. This warrants a conversation with her, to say the least. Yeah. I Our producer put down, this is some Casa Amor nonsense.
Ah, that is so true.
Not a Love Island reference. Yeah, this is crazy, man. And it's very true. It's like, you can end up with nothing. He's messed up. He's waiting for his opportunity to leave because he's just waiting for someone that he deems better than his fiance. I do think this high school crush's behavior is weird, too. To be like, hey, I know you have a fiance, but I have a crush on you, and I'll give you some time to think about it.
Yeah, like, I'm hoping the update is that he goes back to her, and she's like,
It's like,
I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, you're a
Oh.
psychopath, and I'm gonna
Just a
DM your
test.
wife.
I saw a video.
Okay, update.
Here we go.
Here we go.
What the hell is
All right, less than a month later, he posts. I broke her heart. I love Sarah so much, and I stupidly called off the wedding to be with my old crush a few weeks ago. Throughout the couple weeks, Carla used me as a piggy bank. That's all I fucking was to her. I spoiled her, paid for her hair, nails, etc. I gave her everything. I found out she used the money I zelled her to buy a ticket for some guy to come see her. I'm sick to my stomach. I reached out to Sarah, but she feels betrayed and said she doesn't want to be sloppy seconds. But she's not. I love her and needed this to realize.
Shut up.
There's...
Not you, him.
Shut up! There's always the likelihood on Reddit that posts are fake. I will say though, I know of instances of something just like this happening. It's amazing to me how much this does really happen in life, where someone cheats and they come back and go,
right here,
I just
right?
needed this.
I mean, it's Castle
here.
More. It's like,
I needed,
so,
I needed this for my journey.
yeah.
To realize actually that I want to be with you. It happens a lot, and it's shocking that people get that delusional in those spaces.
Or like, for some sick reason, like, we all, like, sometimes want what we can't have, and sometimes what we have feels too safe for some like I'm trying to, like, justify, not because I agree, but, like, only just because...
You get too comfortable with what you have, and you see something new, you're like, oh, I want to touch it.
I don't know, but it's just like, that's what I mean. If it didn't happen here, it was going to happen again.
Yeah.
And honestly, if he got back with Sarah, he'll cheat on her again. Unless he really gets out of the mindset that he's in. But he's going to always do this in his current state. Some comments. Have you ever heard the phrase, play stupid games, win stupid prizes? If your ex-fiance has any self-respect, she won't take you back. You've already discarded her. Leave her alone.
Never heard that phrase.
Yeah, what is that?
No, it's really sick.
Oakley responded, I love her. I know I made a dumb choice, but the few weeks without her reminded me why I fell in love with her. Tons of downvotes on that. Someone said that if your crush hadn't used you as a sugar daddy, would you still want her?
Yes! That's so true!
Yeah.
He's just pissed that, like, he bought her nails, and she's not into him. And she used that money to get somebody else. That's why he's pissed.
That's why he wants to go back.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucked up. Next story. This one came from relationships and ended up on Best of Redditor updates. This is an older one. This is from 2016. So we might have a lot of updates on this one. We'll see.
I was in diapers, man.
Sure, Angela.
Okay.
God, it's different time.
I was like 20 in diapers.
I was like such a kid.
Okay. This is a 25-year-old woman. My recent boyfriend, who's 37, gave me a book to read. It's really, really bad. I feel like I've heard about this story. I met my boyfriend in our master's program. We became friends over this past year, started dating, and became serious shortly before I left the state for a summer internship. He gifted me a book to read, saying it was one he liked. It's A Spell for Chameleon by Pierce Anthony, a fantasy novel written several decades ago. I knew nothing about it prior to reading, and began laughing at it 2 pages in because of how ridiculous the writing was, especially about women. We Skyped after I got through the first chapter, and I tried respectfully explaining my doubts about the book. He made a deal with me. Knowing I'm a big Harry Potter fan, he promised to give the Harry Potter series a chance, starting with Philosopher's Stone. And I gave his book a chance and kept reading. This rocked my world, and I had a sudden burst of motivation. I'm on chapter 3, and I cannot stand this book. It is one of the most sexist and misogynistic texts I have ever had to read, and it honestly makes me feel like crap. Not to mention, it's just poorly written all around. Painfully spoon-feeding obvious symbolism and excessively throwing in fantasy creatures slash concepts that do nothing for the plot. The protagonist is a complete dill hole that I could not care less about, and as a reader, I don't want to follow him or anything in the fantasy world of Zen. But of course, flat out telling my boyfriend those thoughts about a book he enjoys would be hurtful, and he has every right to have different preferences. I am shocked that he would recommend such a book to me, though. He is a respectful and educated man, treating me very well and identifying as a proud feminist. This recommendation was out of left field. Does he not remember how hurtful the author's writing on women is? Did he read it at a young age and has since grown? I can't expect him to hold his end of the bargain and read Harry Potter, which is fine, especially if it means not having to put myself through Pierce Anthony's excuse for writing ever again. I like my boyfriend a lot. How do I respectfully tell him why I cannot invest in this book anymore? It's important to me that he realizes the negative messages being suggested, but I want to do this without insulting his taste or making him feel at fault.
Hey, where does the sun?
Let's see. Okay, so they haven't been dating for too long.
Okay.
It's within a year that they've been dating. That's tough. This is so unique.
Yeah, because it being a bad book, for a second I was like, oh, this is interesting because it's just like difference in like preference.
We're talking about like this is really.
But now the book is just like wrong.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
Here, let's see. I think the comments have some like excerpts from the book, so we get more of an idea. Someone commented, the first thing to ask is when he last read this book. If, like you said, he hasn't read it since adolescence, he may not remember how truly awful it is. If he's read it recently and still recommended it, well, I'd be totally honest about how I felt about it, but that's just me. You can certainly just tell him you gave it a fair shake, but it wasn't your cup of tea. Someone said he's a 37-year-old guy in a relationship with a much younger woman, 12 years younger to be precise, recommending a book about a 25-year-old guy who acts like he's 12. I wonder if these two things are related. In the comments, OP explained why the book is horrible. Alright, here's example number 1. Here's an excerpt from the book. Here we go. I like beautiful girls, he said, and I like smart girls, but I don't trust the combination. I'd settle for an ordinary girl, except she'd get dull after a while. Sometimes I want to talk to someone intelligent, and sometimes
is this
I
guy
want to...
saying?
He broke off. Her mind was like that of a child. It wasn't really right to impose such concepts on her. Example number 2. That's the point, he said. I like variety. I would have trouble living with a stupid girl all the time, but you aren't stupid all the time. Ugliness is no good for all the time, but you aren't ugly all the time either. You are variety. And that is what I crave for the long-term relationship, and what no other girl can provide.
What is this
Example
guy
number 3.
saying?
All women are the same inside. They differ only in appearance and talent. They all use men. Example number 4.
Please read The Ugly One again. It's the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life. Number 2 is so good. Please read it again. I want to dance to it.
Okay. Example number 2, the remix. That's the point, he said. I like variety. I would have trouble living with a stupid girl all the time, but you aren't stupid all the time. Ugliness is no good for all the time, but you aren't ugly all the time either. You are variety. And that is what I crave for the long-term relationship.
You
and
are
what no other girl
variety?
can provide.
What does that even mean?
Only wants to be
I
up
am
for,
variety.
a few days of the week.
What are you, the network? What the fuck are you saying?
And he wants some variety, you know? Ugly and pretty, and then ugly, pretty, and then smart. Sometimes.
That shit's so funny.
Number 4 gets to where it's like, oh, this thing happens in chapter 3, and it's like, okay.
If you say it, we just bleep it out, and then we all just go.
You want me to... Example number 4, that whole trial in chapter 3. Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Okay.
I thought it'd be funny.
Never mind.
No. Okay, maybe...
That's a variety one.
Yeah, when he talked stupid with dumb words, it was funny.
Example number 5. Other girls manage to enhance their appearance by cosmetics or padding or specialized scars. But besides Sabrina, all other females looked somewhat artificial. She was no enemy. This was the page 2 example I mentioned. Example number 6. There was much more of her he longed to see and to touch, but that could come only after marriage. She was that sort of girl, and it was part of her appeal. The girls who had it didn't need to put it on casual display. Page number 3. Ooh.
What do you do when you're reading this book?
Oh my god. This is horrendous, dude.
This is really
And
bad
what sucks
stuff.
is like, I mean, I'm inferring from these excerpts is like, I don't think this, I know this character's not like the villain. You know, some books are about like, oh, this is to showcase a bad narrator and like
Yeah, it's like a Holden Caulfield.
they're the bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, and you're learning about the bad guy. I think this guy's the hero of
The
it.
hero. And he wants a stupid girl that's smart sometimes, but then
And ugly
pretty,
some
but
days.
also ugly on some days.
I want variety. I'm imagining it was Edward Cullen, but just like worse.
Yeah, smart but pretty too much is insane.
I mean, I love reading. I love books.
You should read it.
This no, I've read enough. I think I've got it.
Yeah, is there anything to do with this?
Is it crazy to say this is enough of a red flag where I'd be like, you should probably go?
I think I'd ask, because
When did you read this book?
I'd be
What?
like, give me all the information while you pack your bags. Because, like, I just need to know more. Like, what is he going to say? This was a challenge? Like, what is he going to say?
This is a
This
test.
was a test. I'd honestly test it. I wasn't telling you that it's really bad because it is really
I
bad.
thought I was going to relate to this story because I remember my boyfriend thought I was going to compete at watch Jersey Shore before bed every night. And he was like, I kind of hate that. And I was like, well, I love it.
That's
And I was like, oh, I relate to it. Different types of media. So different.
It's different too because we don't know this guy's view on this book. Because like with reality shows, it's like, oh, I'm watching this mess
Yeah.
that I know is a mess.
But some people like to read like crappy shit. Like I went through like a bad romance novel phase.
Totally fine. Enjoying something that isn't written well.
Yeah.
One, it's that it's like
Something-
such a weird POV.
Arrogant and rude and ignorant and bad.
It's just making sure, like, hey, like, you know, what do you like about this book?
Yeah.
And this is a fantasy book, right?
Fantasy book.
Like a lot of fantasy books, especially back in the day, were extremely misogynistic. So,
Oh yeah.
I'm surprised. How old is this book? Do you know?
She said it's decades old.
Okay.
So it's
Mhm.
yeah, maybe from the 80s or something. But like,
Yeah, maybe he's like, I just loved the book cover. Like the book
it's like,
cover.
oh, I haven't read it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay, update. It came 3 days later. The post was locked shortly after I put it up, so I wasn't able to comment back to most of you. I went through every comment thoroughly and took them all into consideration. Thank you for all your thoughts. We Skyped the other night and the topic came up. I started by saying I liked him a lot and really do appreciate how much he's willing to share with me. He caught on to where I was going with this and started laughing. Then I started laughing, and I realized how silly small of a thing this all was. I guess I didn't want to risk hurting his feelings. When the reason why I didn't like the book came up, I explained, and he totally understood. It's been at least a decade since he's read the book, and he can see where I would feel uncomfortable. He will still consider reading the first Harry Potter book since I gave his book a chance. And being a single dad, his kids also like the series, so it would be a chance for him to connect more with them. I ended by saying that I hope this doesn't discourage him from sharing more things he likes. If anything, it encourages me to find more that you'll appreciate. Cue heart flutters. So that's where that one is. Up
So how much can I do now?
August 3rd, 2024. 8 years later.
Shut the
Four.
I knew I saw this up. Update. August 3rd, 2024. 8 years later.
Shut up.
I knew I saw this post the other day. I was like, wait, okay. So that was 2016. She's like, haha. He's like, oh, I read that a decade ago. Whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Here we
Cool,
go.
heart flutters. 8 years later.
It's Joe Rogan.
Holy shit, I've never seen an update from 8 years.
This is the cream of the crop.
Oh no, okay, predictions. Are they married? They gotta be married.
Yeah, probably. If it's been 8 years, yeah.
They're married
Yeah.
and have kids?
Oh,
I don't, 8 years, that so much happens.
is he reading them this book?
Oh no. She was 25 and he was 37 back in 2016. So she's now 33 and he's 45.
Oh no. I fear this man at 45. Here we go.
To go back to a post that you posted 8 years ago, shit has to be so nuts that you go, I just remembered that I wrote about this 8 years ago.
And she's like, I'm gonna go blow up the internet.
Hi. I would reply to this under the the original username, but it got locked a little over a year ago. Reddit banned me for sharing a mayor's office contact information. LOL. Damn, okay. And I created this one shortly after.
Really?
Alright, you do you. It's hilarious this post is being shared because it's from such a different time in my life. Your instincts are right. This relationship only lasted a month-ish after this post. Okay. I took an opportunity to live and study abroad for a few months, and it was clear that he didn't want anything that deep. Dodged any conversation that required vulnerability, didn't like that I wasn't always 100% perky, etc. I also had a rough breakup before this and wasn't making the best judgment calls when it came to dating. I could have caught a few more things about him that give similar concerns now as this book recommendation then. So I called it off. Oh my god. Then he suddenly wanted to make it work and kept it up for over a year after the breakup. We weren't even together that long. He would text me as if we never ended, and I would shut it down. He eventually stopped, but I still get occasional notifications on LinkedIn that he viewed my profile. I'm now happily married to someone my age, not knocking appropriate relationships with an age gap. I'm good friends with the couples who are 12 years apart, but I dodged a bullet, folks. Thanks for giving me a good laugh with this flashback.
Oh, so this must have like picked up speed on the internet or like gotten viral.
Yeah, I guess so.
And she must have just been like, oh, let me comment and said that I actually met with him.
Yeah, must have. Well, good for her. That's the best news we could have gotten.
Yeah.
Still stalking her LinkedIn.
Still stalking that link.
Every once in a while, he's like,
8 years later, still peeping at it. Okay.
oof,
Wow.
8 years.
Today's Reddit Stories is also brought to you by ZocDoc. Finding the right doctor can sometimes feel like solving a puzzle. You gotta find a specialist under the right insurer. ZocDoc.com/pitreddit. Next story. This next story comes from the marriage subreddit and best friend reddits. My husband doesn't know that I know what he's up to.
Sounds like a Tyler Perry movie.
Yeah, Friday night we're gonna go see my husband doesn't know what that I'm up to, that he knows that I'm up to. You wanna come?
Is that the sequel to My Husband Doesn't Know What I Know?
No, it's my husband. No, he knows that I know that I don't know that I know.
My husband
that
doesn't know that I know what he knows. Got it. Okay. This is a 33-year-old woman. My husband, who's 34, and I had our first baby back in June of last year. My husband's aunt gifted our son a lovely, chunky knitted blanket. The blanket is so soft, and I have made multiple comments about how I would like to find a full-size blanket just like it because it is so cozy, and I'm kind of jealous of my baby. Well, this past weekend, my husband snuck off to the store. He refused to tell me where he was going and why, but I later found a plastic bag with the logo of a local crafting store. That evening, my husband stated that he would like to have an hour of alone time every night after our son goes to sleep. He stressed that he would not like to be disturbed, but if I needed him, then I could call/text him. I agreed to this because we are both adjusting to have very little me time since the birth of our son. Last night during his alone time, our son started crying. I checked the baby monitor and saw that he had simply lost his pacifier and was going back to sleep. However, the baby monitor also shows part of our son's room, not just his crib. In the corner of his room, I saw my husband sitting on the floor with a bunch of chunky yarn in front of him. I turned the volume up and heard that he was watching a YouTube video on how to finger knit. This sweet man is making me a blanket. He absolutely loves surprising me, but is terrible at keeping secrets. I just know that he's going to slip up and accidentally mention something about the blanket at some point. I plan on acting clueless so that I will still be surprised when he gives it to me. I just love him so much, and I'm so delighted that he's learning a new skill so I can have a custom blanket.
That's sweet. I was expecting something so
Me
terrible.
too.
I know, like, not in the kids' room. Oh my god.
Oh,
Oh
God.
my, I still am. I'm like, update. He made me a blanket, but he also is
But he's
stalking
cheating.
us.
He made me a blanket, and then he was like, now read this book.
And cook me
And
dinner.
cook me dinner. Okay, some comments. Oh my god, the title makes this sound like it could have been something else, but it's so cute. Also, why do men seem to always forget about the baby monitor? Someone else said, thank you for this lovely post and sweet story that is restoring some of my faith in marriage and humanity today. Please, please, please don't let me come back in several weeks to an update that he used the blanket to pay off a gambling debt, gave it to his best friend's ex for her birthday, or made it into a furry suit for himself. Reddit has been absolutely unhinged the past few months. Oh, he responded, if he managed to knit himself a furry suit, I wouldn't even be mad. I'd be wildly impressed at such talent. Okay. I feel like the update is gonna be that he gives her the blanket. I'm now nervous because I'm like, what update can we get?
Like, we can get an update that, like, he got really mad that she knew or something. Like, I
Blanket.
can't think of anything besides, like, yeah, he got the blanket.
What if he tried?
And she comes back years.
He's been finger knitting and he actually stabbed himself with his finger.
And he died via his own finger.
I didn't realize you can make a whole blanket through just that.
I guess so.
I mean, this one looks like you did that.
Oh, I guess that's true. Oh, if it's probably like, I wonder if it is.
Like a big ass
Yarn like
yarn.
that, you probably have to use your hands. You can't, like, what?
No, they have big knitting needles.
Gigantic.
They have the thick ones.
Whoa.
Thick, guys.
Update less than a month later. My sweet husband broke. He kept on mentioning that he was working on a surprise for me. I would occasionally ask what this mysterious project was, and he would get a cheeky smile and say, I can't tell you. That eventually evolved into him repeatedly telling me that keeping the surprise was really hard, and he wanted to just tell me. I kept saying, no, you kept it a surprise for this long, you can keep going. But one day after dinner, he decided he couldn't keep it in anymore. He showed it to me. It was only about a fourth done, but it was lovely. The yarn was really soft and was my favorite color. I could tell he had taken this time because of the consistency of all the loops. Even unfinished, it was perfect. He told me that he kept moving it around to different hiding spots, but since our house is very small, it was only a matter of time before I accidentally found it. He said he had run out of yarn and asked if I wanted to pick out another color to add to it. I said yes, and we made a little date out of it. We grabbed lunch and then walked around the craft store before I picked out a complementary color to the one he chose. He hasn't had much time to work on it the last few days, but he assured me it will be finished by my birthday.
Sorry, can I finish? I'm like, he hasn't had a lot of time. He hasn't had a lot of time to finish his last update because he's cheating on me.
He went to a bar and he met his high school crush.
Yeah. So, like, he's gonna get to it. He's just this is just so wholesome. I'm waiting for something. Yeah.
I'll post a picture of the blanket when it's finished. For now, I'm wildly impressed with how long he kept it a secret, and I'm so excited to have my first ever again. That's so sweet. That's so sweet. I like knowing, so I know this episode is sourced by Emily, and I can just picture Emily reading this guy. No. Did you hear the news? Did you hear the news? He made that blanket.
Yeah. She goes, oh, don't read this. The one that blanket. Don't read it. Yeah.
Did you guys read the story about the blanket? Oh, it's so cute.
Yeah. And we're like, yeah, we were waiting for him to, like, cheat on his wife or something. I'm so messed up.
There's definitely a part of my brain after doing this show for so long that's like, okay, so nothing bad happened. That's good.
So they were looking for a complementary color?
That's good.
Okay, so then what happened after?
Cool. That's awesome. That's great. No, that's very sweet. Alright, next story. Okay. This comes from Am I the Asshole? Let's get real. Let's buckle up.
Let's take the bumpers off.
Am I the asshole for refusing to help a girl in the gym unless she stops recording me? I think I acted rudely with a girl in the gym and wanted to get opinions on if I was the asshole in this situation. I, a 41-year-old man, go to the gym early in the morning around 5:30 a.m. There are generally very few people that come to the gym at that time. There is a girl, early 20s, that also comes to the gym at the same time. We always say hello to each other and have small talk between our sets. She comes in early because the gym is empty, and she likes to record herself working out as she wants to be a fitness influencer or something. She seems dedicated, and we have known each other for at least a year. This morning as I was working out, she came to me and asked for help. She was very excited and told me that she wanted to go for a personal record on her barbell squat. She asked me if I could spot her as she was not confident if she would be able to do it. I said okay, as this is not the most uncommon thing. For people who are unfamiliar, this is an exercise where you carry a barbell with weights on your back and perform a squat. The spotter has to stand behind the person and support the person in case they fail to get up. As she was getting ready, I saw her phone in the corner and asked if I could be off camera or if she could stop recording. She said she really wanted to record herself doing it, and I will look good on camera. I told her that I really do not want to be on camera, as my wife or coworkers may watch the video that she posted online, and that may not look good for me. Another reason that I did not tell her was that she was wearing a very revealing outfit, small sports bra and tight shorts, and I really did not feel comfortable being recorded standing behind her. She promised me that she would record it for herself and not post the video. However, I just did not want to be recorded. I told her that I really feel uncomfortable, and if she waits for 30 minutes, one of the trainers may be able to help her. She became really upset and asked me why I'm making the situation weird. She accused me of sexualizing her. She asked me if she was a man, would I have done it? I felt she had a point, as I have done it for other people. I told her that I would be okay doing it, but I just don't want to be recorded doing it. She again went on a rant about me body shaming her and me being uncomfortable with her perfectly fine outfit. I felt bad that I upset her, as she was just trying to work out. I have also asked people to spot me in the past, and people always helped. However, I just did not want to be recorded. Am I the asshole to refuse to spot her because she was recording it? I don't want her to feel that it was because of her clothes or because she is a girl. However, as a married man, I need to observe some boundaries and really don't want to be recorded in that way with a girl half my age. I am also worried that she recorded our whole conversation and may post it online. I do not know what I should do in this situation, and I'm a bit worried. We don't have a verdict on this because this post was removed before the verdict was rendered. But I mean, my thought on this is like, you have the right to say no. You just have you have the right to say no. You know, and it's
Wasn't
not
it like a whole thing?
I don't know. I mean, he's just like, hey, I just don't want to be
It's not an asshole. I mean, I feel like, especially in these like past few years, you've like created like a culture where like people just feel like it's completely fine to record random strangers at all times online without their consent.
Yeah.
And I find that very weird. But yeah, it's okay to say no, and I feel like we need to bring that back.
It's so true, because cameras are just, everyone has one, so it has become so normalized to just be filming shit all the time and to just expect people to be okay with it filmed, especially with the idea of it being filmed and posted online.
I wish he kept it to himself, the specifics.
Yeah.
Because I could imagine, like, because I am trying to think of, like, the dynamics of, like, oh, if that was a man and he was, like, not in a shirt, would that have been, like, or just, like the fact that the sexualizing part that she claimed he was doing to her. I wish he kept it to himself that he didn't want to be on camera with her because of her body.
Yeah.
But I think I understand why she was just like, oh my God, you're talking about my body. Like, the second he brings what she's wearing into the conversation, it gets a little dicey, because it could look like he's blaming her for wearing something that she's allowed to wear.
Totally.
But at the end of the day, it's his body that he doesn't want filmed. That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to figure out why she was so upset. So I think it was him talking about what she's wearing might have set her off, or made her feel inappropriate. Like, but he was just explaining why.
Maybe it's this.
Right.
No.
I totally.
Is it that?
I see that. You know, I'm thinking like some people just aren't as quick like with thinking through those things.
Exactly.
I'm like, if I was in his position and I didn't feel comfortable, I may be like, oh, you know, I probably shouldn't right now.
Which was
I
a
can't, or
quest.
whatever.
Do it.
At the same
It's
time,
a
like if
whole
I ask
thing.
someone to spot me, even if they're a friend, and they say,
No, it's a
oh,
sign.
I don't feel comfortable, I'm not gonna push.
Yeah, because you can also not feel comfortable spotting someone. Like, I think if someone was like doing that and it was their PR, I'd be like, I don't know if I'd pick it up after you.
I one time had a guy ask me to spot him for squatting, and it's the weirdest way to spot someone. It's just like the most, because you're literally like up behind them as you both squat down at the same time.
And then
It is weird. I remember almost being like, I don't know if I really know how to do it.
yeah,
Because it is an awkward situation.
yeah.
Out of all the things you can spot people for, like spotting someone for bench press is fine. You're just sitting there holding the bar. But squat is like, you're kind of like up behind them.
But you're also taking responsibility for the barbell if it doesn't.
You kind of like, but you don't grab the barbell. You like grab from underneath their
Oh, to help them
arm
up.
depths. Yeah, you're kind of
Okay.
like, you lift them up in a
Copy.
way. Especially if it's a lot of weight on the barbell, because you can't just grab 200, 300 pounds.
Yeah, no.
But
Yeah, there we go.
But I also think I can see a little bit where she's just focused on weightlifting.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you see this as more than what it just is, which is just, I'm going to do a squat and you're going to spot me. That's all this is.
And that's exactly what he's worried about. Is someone's look like he doesn't.
He's worried about the misinterpretation of other people.
Yeah.
Because he's like, we're weightlifters. This is just weightlifting. But if my wife sees this and stuff, it can look inappropriate to other people.
Yeah.
I still just think he has to have the right to say, like, I don't want to go.
Like, or your no should be respected. It shouldn't need a why. Like,
Yeah. Let's see, some comments here. Not the asshole. People who are pointing out the line of how you think it would look inappropriate if a coworker or wife saw you aren't familiar with lifting. If she reached failure, it would absolutely look bad on you because people don't understand what spotting and having to assist with squats looks like. OP said that was exactly what went through my mind. Plus, who knows what commentary someone can put on top of those videos to make it go viral. That's also true. It is scary because when someone posts on social media, they can turn it into more than what it is. And it is also true, she started recording him before she told him, like, if he recorded. Maybe she assumed because he's there all the time with her that he just knows she records everything.
Yeah.
But still, I don't know. As someone, because we've done things where we film things outside, right? Like as YouTubers, it often happens. I'm very, very self-conscious about, I don't want to film people without their permission. Like it's such a I think it's such a vulnerable, sensitive thing.
Yeah.
And to not take that seriously, I think does make you an asshole in some way or another.
Yeah.
Someone says, I don't want to be filmed, and you push. I just think it's always wrong.
100%. It's like a form of, weirdly, like being online and posting pictures of people is like a form of like intimacy that you consent for, in my opinion. Like just like emotional intimacy where it's like, you told me something and I'm not going to tell everyone.
Yeah.
Versus I took a picture and you weren't okay with that. I'm not going to post and do it. It's just crazy.
And she did say something that I think is kind of icky. She did say like, "Oh, you're gonna look good on camera." She did say that. She's like, "You're gonna look good in this." It's like, okay. Right. Update.
Here we go.
19 days later. I had posted on a different forum 3 weeks ago about me refusing to help a girl in the gym for spotting her barbell squat because she was recording us. I did not think it would blow up so much that my wife got this story on her TikTok. What happened after was pretty unexpected, and my life is a bit absurd right now. I was worried that she would post our conversation about me refusing her help online and show me as the bad guy. I told my wife about the conversation, and she said that she has seen posts where young girls do add nasty voiceovers and make men my age look like creeps with views. My wife told me that I should just complain to the gym management about her for recording me without my consent, just to get ahead of things. When I went to the gym the next week, I saw her again. I tried to keep my distance, but she kept on smiling at me. As I finished my sets, she came to me and asked me if we could talk. She wanted to apologize for her behavior to the previous day and how it was wrong for her to assume that I would be okay with her recording me. It was a pleasant surprise, as I was not expecting that. I told her that it was okay, and I just don't like to be recorded in general. She followed me outside and continued the conversation. She asked me how long I have been working out and if I could advise her on her form. I told her that there are some really good personal trainers in the gym I could recommend to her, but she told me that she is unemployed and cannot afford them. She told me she will buy me a coffee if I can give her some pointers.
Just another unemployed TikTok girly? Is that what we're figuring out?
This just got really weird. This just entered a whole different territory.
Unemployed, never heard that before.
Okay. At this point, I felt that I was just being rude and told her sure, and we went to a nearby coffee shop. Her name is Katie. She graduated last year, moved back to her mom's house, and is working. She was very chubby last year and wants to look like the TikTok fitness models and is trying hard to get in shape. We had a nice conversation, and I was able to help her with some of her questions. She already knew my name and asked me if my wife would be okay if she follows me on Instagram. I told her that the main purpose of that account is for my wife to spy on my friends' lives, so I generally don't use it. She asked me if I use Snapchat, and I had to remind her that I am twice her age. This is where it got crazy. When I came home, I told my wife about what happened. My wife loves her reels and TikTok and wanted to see if she, Haley, ever posted the video from the previous week. I only knew that her first name was Haley and how she looked and told my wife about it. When I came back from work in the evening, my wife was already home and sitting on the sofa. She was grinning ear to ear and told me to immediately sit next to her. Apparently, this girl has been posting about me and calling me her gym crush for the last 2 months. My face is blurred out in all the videos. A lot of the videos were her sitting... A lot of the videos were her sitting in her car every morning and making up completely fictional romantic stories about our interactions. Each video had like 100 plus likes, which my wife says is not a lot, but feels like a lot. She had posted some videos of us just passing each other and smiling, or our conversation where I was telling her to stop recording, with a voiceover about how I approached her in the gym and complimented her body. There was a video from that morning about her coming to me while I was packing up, with her saying how I asked her out for a coffee. She is just making up fictional romantic bullshit for getting likes, and people were commenting and cheering for her. There were also other videos of her working out and posing in the gym locker room. My wife was laughing uncontrollably about how big of a sucker I am and how I am internet famous now. I told her this needs to stop, but my wife insisted that she is too invested in the drama now and wants to see what happens next. Me. She said that... Yeah. She said that this girl is really young and just trying to establish herself and get more followers. Plus, she has not done anything inappropriate and is not showing my face in the videos. My wife just wants me to play along and see what crazy Haley does next. Okay, she has done plenty of inappropriate stuff by now. Let's be clear, this is inappropriate.
This is one of the things of why I don't like TikTok that much. A lot of people do this. It's like filming people without consent, creating narratives of people without their consent. It's like this weird trend that's happening that just keeps on going. I'm like, this feels like a train wreck that's like bound to crash.
It's why whenever, I mean, I'm more skeptical of TikTok than I am of Reels, right? Because whenever someone's like, yeah, this thing on TikTok, I'm like, did it happen?
Yeah, it's like, what, is it
Because
real?
the thing that people love to do on TikTok is you can just lie.
Say whatever you
It's
want.
actually the best way to go viral on TikTok. Just make
Just
up a
lie.
whole lie. You can just lie about all sorts of bullshit. The majority of lies that I see are people just being like, did you know that? And
Did
they
you
give
know
a
that right
fact.
now there are 50 crocodiles in your ears right now? And you'd be like, what?
And then you go to work and you're like, do you guys know there's like 50 crocodiles in your ears? And someone's like, no,
I
that's
say
not true. And you're like,
cockroaches.
yeah.
Of course it's not crocodiles. I miss the cockroaches.
But people also do this shit.
This is crazy.
And gym stuff, it does happen a lot where people are just making up narratives and being like, this crazy thing happened to me, or this thing is going on. And like, people just dive into it, and it's really dangerous. Like, sure, you might get some likes, but you're really fucking up someone's life potentially, and ultimately you're gonna fuck up your own.
But this is why I think reality TV is good and should be its own little thing. I'm sorry, but like this is why people like reality TV, because it's real. And when watching like a girl try to get her gym crush's attention, we get addicted to it because we're like, oh my gosh, did she get his
And we
attention?
believe it.
And because it's real and it's not fake. And I think like we are like all dying to just see, I don't know, just to feel and see real stuff. That's why I like watching reality TV. But that's why I think TikTok's really scary, because it could become.
Yeah, I will also say sort of a different thing. This is really probably one of the best examples I've ever seen. If the roles were reversed, we would then see how unbelievably inappropriate this is. This is inappropriate behavior to be filming someone in a public space and being like, this is my crush, and here's my process, and you're posting it publicly. That is so creepy.
It's really.
But people are very comfortable. It's the new world.
Yeah.
Where there is online and real world, and it's one.
Yeah. The people who are doing it is one thing. I think all of the numbers of us being attracted to it is weird. Like, but I fall for it. Like real things happening. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god. Like that whole like who the hell did I marry thing that was going on. We were all like dying because it's true. You know?
And we just get invested in shit, and we then add to it like it's like Couch Guy.
Yeah.
We all know the Couch Guy.
Yeah.
That shit blew the fuck up.
Yeah.
And it's like realistically, we saw like a half a second of someone, and then we just were like,
Yeah.
We all knew everything.
Couch guy? You mean the guy that walked in on his like girlfriend was surprising?
His girlfriend was surprising him.
On the couch? Okay.
I just remember like it just gets crazy. We get like we're so invested.
It really invested.
I don't remember much about Couch Guy. I just remember how big it was, and I'm like, it was one video, and we like dissected it.
Yeah.
Some comments. Does she not know you are married? Where's the ring? It seems scummy of her if she does know. OP responded, yes, she knows I'm married. I wear my ring in the gym, and I also talk about my wife all the time to her. I also feel it's a bit weird for a 22-year-old person to make up stories. My wife feels she is just using me as an NPC in her fiction to gain more viewers and create drama. We discussed it, and she told me about how some girls just make up stories about bad first dates on TikTok, as it gets them a lot of views. My wife feels it's weird, but I need to see the humor in this situation. At least it's entertaining, and she wants to know where her story goes next. Someone said, what are the coffee discussions like? It seems weird for her to do that if it was just for TikTok attention. It's easier for her to make stuff up. Opie said the coffee discussions are very fitness oriented, and she genuinely has legit questions. We do discuss stuff about our lives, mostly hers, and she shares her struggles in getting a job and life in general for a Gen Z person. However, she has never said anything inappropriate. I feel she must have had some footage of me passing her and smiling and greeting her and just used that in her edits. I mean, in this situation, I feel like the best thing to do is to distance yourself from this person. Like,
New gym.
New gym, or try to go to a different time, like, or I don't know, just being like, or being like, hey, maybe even being like, hey, my wife found your TikTok page and like knows you're filming me and creating this narrative that we both know is not true. Please stop. Final update. This is a month after the original post, so probably a couple weeks later. I wrote a post about a month ago regarding Haley, a girl at my gym asking me to spot her and me refusing to do it because she was recording me. The post blew up, and I wrote an update where I told my wife, and she found out that Haley was just making up fictional stories about me being her gym crush for likes. My wife loves her TikTok drama and asked me to continue as it is, as she found Haley's posts harmless and very amusing. Those posts blew up, and the last week has been crazy. First of all you guys are assholes. There were thousands of comments on my posts, and not one of you told me that these Reddit posts are posted on TikTok. There were few people who did dramatic readings of my post on TikTok last week, and millions of people saw it. One of them being my wife. Also bad news, they end up on YouTube too.
Oops.
Sorry, man, it's
No,
public.
what is saying?
I thought I was just venting here in anonymity about Haley and my wife. On Saturday morning, my wife came to me and asked me if I posted my story on Reddit. I asked her how she knows, because she never uses Reddit. She showed me a person doing a dramatic reading of the story. She was just giddy and asked me if it was really me posting the story. I told her yes, and she just lost it. She was just laughing at how I was being so dramatic, talking about a very funny situation. Moreover, most of the TikTok commenters were cheering for my wife, and I have never seen my wife being so happy since our wedding. We had a bunch of my friends invited for a barbecue party that evening, and my wife was also telling me about my Reddit post and showing them to TikTok. At this point, multiple channels had posted it. Everyone was making fun of Haley's posts and teasing me. My friends even enacted what spotting a barbell squat looks like for their wives, and what happens when the person squatting fails. I really started feeling bad for Haley, as everyone was just making fun of her in her videos. I felt that they had taken things too far, and she did not deserve this kind of ridicule. I told my wife that night that I'm going to tell Haley that we know about her videos the next time we meet, as I feel we are just being mean to her at this point. My wife again started grinning and showed me the TikTok comments. Apparently, a lot of people had already started snooping around TikTok and found a bunch of Haley's posting about their gym crush, and my Haley was one of them. Haley had not responded to any of the comments, but had promptly deleted all her recent videos. I was horrified as a lot of people were accusing her of being a homewrecker and to stay away from married men. I felt so embarrassed that I just felt like I wanted to bury my face and disappear. All I wanted was quick feedback on Reddit, and never meant for all this to happen. As days went on, more and more people viewed the video, and Haley was still getting a lot of comments. My wife told me last night that almost 5 million people saw those videos. I really did not want to face Haley anymore, and could not get myself to go to the gym for the last 2 days. Yesterday evening, Haley messaged me and asked me if I still plan to have coffee with her today. My wife told me to just talk to her, as she might also be feeling bad. My wife felt Haley was just doing childish things because she is a child, and I should apologize to her for causing her all this stress. I went to the gym today, and to say that things were awkward between us at the start was an understatement. After my workout was done, Haley and I walked to a coffee shop nearby and had a chat. Before I could apologize to her, she started profusely apologizing to me for posting inappropriate posts about me on TikTok. She said that she was just having fun, and it was like a joke between all her friends. She told me that only her friends and family follow her, and she was just making up fun stories to entertain them. She didn't mean for it to blow up and for so many people to see that. She told me that she woke up this weekend and suddenly her TikTok had hundreds of views, likes, and messages. She was confused and checked, and everyone was commenting on her videos calling her a homewrecker and crazy Haley. She realized that I had posted a Reddit story because of some comments and immediately felt embarrassed because she learned that my wife and I knew about her posting stuff about me. She deleted all her recent videos, but people seemed to be finding her somehow and messaging her on her older posts. Also, her friends messaged her after they saw what was happening, and she had to explain to her mom that she was not dating a married man. I also apologized to her and told her I did not know that Reddit posts blew up on TikTok and was just worried I offended her when I did not spot her the other day. She was surprised that I did not know that about TikTok, as it seems to be fairly common. I told her that my wife found her content funny, and so she asked me not to tell her. My wife felt she was talented and working so hard on her fitness to be an influencer. At the end of the day, we just laughed about the situation. She told me that she always wanted to know how it would be to be internet famous and enjoyed her 15 minutes of fame. Seems that things are going back to normal, and she has promised she will find another gym crush and we will continue being friends. Finally, I just wanted to ask everyone to not go and find Haley on TikTok and let her be. Please do not harass any Haleys on the internet because of me. I'm not going to disclose who the real one is, so just stop harassing all the Haleys. They are not homewreckers and just young kids.
Leave the Haleys alone.
Leave the Haleys alone, guys.
Yeah, maybe this is a good example at like change the name before you talk about anybody or something.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
I typically assume on Am I the Asshole posts that the names are changed.
Yeah.
You must not have done that. In regards to what she said, I'm a little skeptical of what she said, where she was like, it was all just a joke, and it was just for my friends and family. I'm like, then why wasn't your account private?
Private. But that's, I think, that, depending on when that happened, I think that's like pre-TikTok knowledge, because like it's, or not pre, but I think like, I think we're still understanding, and now people really get it, that you don't need a following to go viral on TikTok. Like, I think for other, like, that's how the algorithm works, is that, like, sometimes a really small hole in the wall will blow up. And I think people know that now, and don't just...
I mean, this is from, like, a month ago, this post.
Because, like, I don't know, if you post anything and you're not a private account, you have to know that other people are going to see it. Because TikTok will serve you things
that have, like,
that people you don't know.
I've said it before, if you have a public account on anything, you are in the entertainment industry. And if you post things on a public account on the internet, you are doing entertainment whether you think it's entertainment or not.
Yeah.
Because people might find it entertaining and it might blow up. And the amount of times you see people go, whoa, I was not expecting this to blow up. It's like every single time it happens, it's just like, well, man, that's part of how the internet works.
It's like you don't have to expect something to blow up, but you do have to expect something to not be private.
Yes.
So it's like, if you want to write fan fiction about your gym crush, lock it down. But don't, like, post his... Yeah.
No, I mean...
And that goes for him talking about her, too.
Totally.
Because it's weird about this story how it kind of happened both ways, where he then started talking about her and how he felt, and that exposed her, too, for, like, it kind of both...
It's hard for me to kind of, like, put myself in their shoes, because we work in this industry where, like, we are so in, like, posting things, and it gets views, and you know, like, nothing is private.
Very cool.
At least in, like, not doing anything that we post online is private. To be someone who hardly has social media that, like, literally, like, no fault. Like, because you're not doing that. I can understand how you might underestimate the internet. Because for me, it's such common knowledge, but I'm like, for this guy, and for her, maybe, they're just not thinking that way. They don't realize until it does happen to you.
This is a Bridgerton joke, but even Lady Whistledown could keep it. Just use a fake name. Did you get that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, use a fake name. Use a fake name. Change the account. Don't use your face.
Yeah, but I think you're right. I think when you post something online, like, it's not private. Know that it's not private. Know that a million people could eventually watch it.
Yeah, like, you could be surprised if it blows up, because sure, that's crazy. But don't be surprised when people find it.
Yeah. And
Come
also
on,
forever,
dude.
Yeah.
until you believe it. Crazy shit. I mean, that wife is hilarious. You gotta appreciate how much she laughs at everything.
Yeah. I unfortunately think that's
Why
I feel like
is it just
you have to
not
go back.
letting me jump?
That's
Yeah.
what are you doing? You got a cigar. Suddenly you're like, this is good. This is good.
I'm like, yeah, I just got the phone with CIA. You're going to prove one in America tomorrow.
We're here with the June crush
Yeah.
that America's been talking about. And he's just there like, what? Those are some good updates.
Yeah.
Nothing too scary, nothing too bad.
Yeah. For a second, I was like, oh, God, is this all misogyny? It wasn't.
Wholesome one in between.
Yeah, we got some knitted blanket.
And we got a lot of dodge bullets in this episode. Nobody messed up too bad.
Yeah.
So good stuff. Well, thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
It's always fun.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for an update.
Yeah, me too.
An 8-year later update is a first for me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just an 8-year update to be like, guys, I dated.
Yeah.
We broke up a month ago.
And it's like, oh,
Back 8 years ago.
we were like, do they have kids? Do they read the book?
Hey, just found this account. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Mac, thank you for coming back, as always.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you all for watching. Let us know what other themes and subreddits you want us to cover on the show, and we'll see you next Saturday. Bye!
Alrighty. Let's see what's here. Nope, not that one. This one. Right.
We're back with more Reddit stories. I'm Shane, and my guests today are Chance and Amanda.
Hi.
There's a reason you both are here today. It's because the theme is service industry, and I believe... Yeah, you both have experience.
coaster. Yay. Whoa.
You both worked in the service industry.
I was like,
Yeah. We both had so many different places that we worked at.
Worked at so many different restaurants.
And was it fun?
I would say, yes,
Some places, yes.
were super fun. Like, you were only there for the people.
Yes.
The money wasn't even that good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was always about money first. I was always about money.
No, not me. I was always about
Vibes.
full vibes first.
Yeah. And that's why you work here.
And that's why I work here.
But I'm sure you have tons of stories
Yeah.
of insane customers, insane experiences, and we're about to hear a bunch from some other people.
Oh, I can't
Anonymously. So let's hop into
So
it.
it's about restaurants and bars.
It's probably a lot. It's service industry in general. So there might be, and it might be from different perspectives. Might be from the perspective of the customer, might be from the worker.
Oh,
I love that, but I don't trust anything the customer says.
Never.
It's never right.
They are almost never right.
Never.
Like, very few and far between.
Okay. Well, I think this first one has to do with the customer.
Great.
So let's see. This comes from legal advice. Regular customer keeps telling us that her latte causes seizures.
Okay, stop drinking the coffee. Like, one seizure is enough.
Must be a really good customer. Okay, let's see what's going on here. We have a regular customer at our coffee shop that has autoimmune epilepsy. They say that when it's made wrong, after we try to remake it 15 times, they experience seizures. I don't want to be liable for them ordering something that causes them to have these seizures. My coworker and I highly doubt that food and beverages cause seizures, but they order a tiny fraction of an amount of espresso in their latte. It is a half caffeinated beverage, but every drink they correctly order back to their cases first. So we decided on giving them half of a pack of caffeinated shot, or essentially. We feel as if they're trying to plot against us because they have a spreadsheet of orders who make their drinks right. Sorry if this is put under the wrong thread. We all genuinely feel like they want sue us for giving them seizures. Edit. I'd also like to point out that this customer is certainly a problem. They would stalk a barista from a different location and try to convince said barista to not move in with their boyfriend before marriage. The customer ended up finding out where the boyfriend worked and tried to get him fired from his job. Now this customer is at our establishment after getting banned from their previous location. People in our region who have worked in our company for 10 plus years say that this customer has always been a problem. As a supervisor, I had spent a whole hour working on their drink. 15 plus drinks later, no solution. They ended up just taking the last drink because they realized it was a waste of their time. Next day, they asked for 5 remakes of their drink. I got fed up and told them that I'll call them an ambulance if they get another remake. That or I can issue you a refund because we are not going to come to a solution if we keep going. They agreed to a refund and have now consecutively asked for refunds these past 2 or so months. So, quick note about this. We don't know this person's name, nor do we know where the story is. Laws, whenever it comes to legal advice, laws depend on where you live. Usually in legal advice posts, they state what state they're in, because that affects the advice that people give. We're not here to give legal advice because we're not, we don't.
Lawyers.
Yeah, but
Oh yeah, I should probably get started
just in
on
general,
that sometime.
sounds brutal. Stop serving me.
I know.
Sounds like the last place did.
What are you supposed to do about that? Because it is weird that they stalked a person. Like
Hmm.
that's like okay, but also
Interesting.
2 birds.
That's the beans.
Yes, no, I know, but like, how does that? How did that correlate to you having seizures?
Yeah.
Does that mean like 2 birds means too much espresso
Person
for
needs
this
to get a
person?
life.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, it's a sense of extreme behavior. The stalking stuff is a lot. Way too much. Dude, oh my god. Like, who cares about the remaking of the drink? Yeah. We're talking about something
Also,
else
the
here.
spreadsheet.
The spreadsheet
I
was the
would
biggest
not-
red flag, honestly.
I would not
Forget
wanna
the
be-
stalking, the spreadsheet.
Spreadsheet.
This person sounds frankly lonely, and they're just obsessed, and like this is their spot, and this is the most human interaction they have.
To be honest, when I feel like when that's exactly what I think it is. I think that they're lonely, and this is how they want to have interactions. When I worked at Dunkin' Donuts back in the day, there was a woman who had so much sunscreen on her face, so much sunscreen on her face, and she would be there my entire shift, like start to finish, and she would always come up and complain about her coffee, and she was like,
So, at Dunkin' Donuts.
at Dunkin' Donuts, she would say that
I
it was
expect crack coffee.
she would say that it was burnt, and I was like 15 years old, so I was like, oh, I want to make this woman happy. She would never, ever tip. But she was always there every shift, and finally my manager was like, we can't keep remaking her coffee.
Yeah.
She's just here every day.
Yeah.
First in, like, last out.
You gotta set healthy boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
She's a friend.
as I said, the medical aspect, we don't know. We don't know these people. But I do think for a lot of people who ask to have drinks remade very consistently, I can't help but think it's a little bit of a high they get. Yeah. From a little bit of power.
It's the pickles guy from SpongeBob.
Wow.
Who was that?
The pickles on my tongue.
Yuck, yuck, yuck.
Comments here. Not a lawyer, but I have epilepsy. It makes absolutely no sense why someone would risk a seizure over a coffee tray not being prepared properly.
Correct.
Taste and smell alone is no indicator if a food or drink will trigger a seizure. If the customer's seizures are triggered so easily, they should take proper precautions. Someone responded to that saying 100%. I also have epilepsy and avoid anything that can trigger me like the plague. The only way she could tell if the drink is wrong is by tasting it, which could cause a seizure. There's no way I'd risk that, and I'd say most people with epilepsy would have similar sentiments. Someone else said, sometimes you have to fire the customer. Someone said 3 remakes. You get 3. After the 3rd one, it's I'm terribly sorry, but we're unable to accommodate you, and here's a refund. Boom. Please leave. 15 plus lattes is them just straight up f***ing with you. What a terrible tool.
3?
3.
No. You get the first one. You get the remake. No. This is what we've given you. This is the try again. We're not trying 3 times. Sorry.
Someone same. Also, my favorite thing to do is when you have the person that always asks for a remake. You know what I started doing after a while? I'd be like, oh my god, you're so right, I'll remake it. And I go in the corner
yep.
and I shake it and I give it right back. And I'm like, here you Shell, and they're like, better.
Yeah,
I've done that.
I've done that. I pull that bullshit.
Well, it's true. It's
Because they just get it's in their head.
15 sips. They took 15 sips of 15 lattes. They've drank so much coffee now.
epilepsy. Sorry.
But I agree with these comments of if you have a very serious medical condition that could be triggered by coffee. I wouldn't trust a barista. A barista's not a doctor.
And that's really scary to have epilepsy because there's so many things that can trigger it, especially like movies nowadays with like the flashing. But I feel like if maybe just like don't
Yeah.
just don't.
Yeah, and the responsibility of like movies and stuff is to let you know, hey, there's stuff in this. But
There's something
although
here
we're talking
which
about
I'm just
no
not
one's happy,
seeing.
They're
Oh.
telling you the amount that they're giving you, and it's just this is
Alrighty.
obviously this person. Like I said, remove the medical stuff. They're a stalker, so I don't really have much empathy for them.
That's so the industry though. You need people that you're like, how are you walking through the planet?
Yes.
That's what happens when you work in the restaurant industry.
100%.
Is you're like, how are you on this planet?
And also, there's so many times with groups of people where I'm like, you can't figure out how to pay this check together. Like, you are grown-ass adults. Like, it is. You have never gone to a restaurant together. Which maybe you haven't, but like, we are in 2023. Like, you can split it. Venmo. Like, come on now.
Yep.
How are you guys operating in real life?
Yep.
Because that don't make no sense.
Yes.
I love this next one.
Okay.
Okay, this one's awesome. We might have a legend based on the title, but I might be very wrong. Am I the asshole because I brought a bottle of ranch into a restaurant?
Absolutely not. That's a legend. You're right.
We'll see. We will see. Maybe we're gonna eat our words here. How big is the bottle? Yeah. I've got the ranch. Last night I went to dinner with Michael. It was our third date, and he took me to one of his favorite restaurants. It was a hole-in-the-wall Polish/Hungarian place. We ordered our food, and he ordered a sampler plate, so I could try different things. There are very few things I don't eat with ranch. I just like it, and it helps make some things easier to eat, so I always have it with my meals. When we get our food, I ask for some ranch. The waiter said they didn't have any, and offered to bring out some kind of sour cream and dill sauces. I tried them, and they just weren't the same. I told Michael I'd be right back, took my wallet, and left the restaurant. I had seen a convenience store just close by when we arrived, so I went there, bought a bottle of ranch, and
What the hell's
came
a
back.
stinger?
Michael looked shocked, but didn't say anything and ate his food. The food was great, and we got some conversation going. When the waiter came over and said outside food wasn't allowed, I said dressing isn't outside food, and they didn't have what I needed to enjoy my meal. I didn't want to ruin the evening, so I took it out to my car and returned. When we finished and left, Michael thanked me for coming out with him, but said it was really off-putting that I had to leave and go buy a bottle of dressing instead of just going one meal without it.
Yeah.
I told him I wouldn't have had to do that if they had ranch or any dressings like a normal.
No, I don't have diamonds.
He didn't
I
walk
can't do
me to
that.
see my car or anything and just left. I went home and told my roommate about my date and his attitude, and she asked me if I was being serious. She thinks I had bad etiquette and embarrassed Michael to the point that he was probably going to stop talking to me. I don't think what I did was really all that bad. It was a condiment, not an entire meal from someplace. Was I wrong for what I did?
Yeah, I should probably make
I
the
redacted
wand.
the legend.
Definitely not.
You're judging.
I thought this was gonna. I thought this was gonna be like Olive Garden.
So I could
And
do
he's like, I'm
that.
sorry, man. I know you have ranch, but you don't have enough.
Yeah.
I
That's
need
funny.
so much
You're
ranch.
judging a cultural, like, you are judging
Yeah. Already, it's not like a chain restaurant or anything. It sounds like a mom and pop
Polish
something.
Hungarian place
That's not a.
with dill and sour cream. Exactly like it sounds amazing.
There's a dill sauce. Then you should have. I mean, I don't know. She clearly probably just didn't know what type of food this was gonna be. Like she thought. I don't. This just sounds like someone who's very American centric. Like a
Normal
normal
restaurant.
restaurant. Yeah, no, like probably has only been to chain restaurants. This is finally like.
The thing is, it's great. It's good on her to like try other things, try new things, but
Well, also, it's not even a matter of like, are you the asshole? It's more like that's a really dumb thing to do on clearly like an early date.
Michael, but
It was like
I love that he's just completely Michael.
Yeah, this person didn't start off strong by just being like, last night I went to dinner with Mike. Oh, what?
The one that got away.
Yeah.
I guess it really was. last night I went to dinner with Seth. How much do you know about that? I didn't get any of that.
No, just
Zero context. I don't know their age. Don't know what's going on here. Horrible thing to do on a date.
Also, I think it's a little bit weird that Michael didn't say anything to her coming back with Rand.
Yeah, we don't know.
Like, maybe-
We don't know. I think this person would leave that shit out. But we don't know. But also, I don't know. If someone did that, if I'm the type that if I was on a date and I was like, hey, I love this restaurant. I love this place. It's really awesome. It's just hole in the wall. We're there. And then she's like, do you have ranch? And I'm like, no. And she's like, I'll be right back. And leaves. And comes back with a bottle of ranch that she just bought. I'd be like, oh. And in my head, I'd be like, I'm about to go talk to her. Yeah, I'll sit here for this meal. I'll also point out the fact that that was crazy what you did in a very jokey, funny way. I'll be like, you really like ranch. I'm like, I hope you like, because it's one thing to be like, I really have a hard time thinking
Isn't that what I tried to do?
I'd be like, I can't eat something without ranch is so intense.
I guess I'm like,
Because ranch
I
doesn't
feel like
even
I
have
need to,
that
like-
much flavor.
no, it doesn't. I feel like I need to solve it. I feel like I would have to be like, really? You really went out and got ranch? I'm so embarrassed. I would have been so embarrassed.
Yeah, oh, 100%. I think also for me, what it often is, it's not necessarily the action, but how you back up that action.
Look at this
going
ice.
to a restaurant and like fighting back to the waiter and like when the waiter's like no outside food and it's like it's a constant. I'm like that's almost more the red flag to me than going and getting the ranch. Yeah, like and it's one of those things that you need to be really upfront if it's like you cannot
Oh, I
date
am
without
novice.
ranch. You need to be like, oh, you want to go out to eat?
What
Do
do
they
I
have
have to use
ranch?
this for?
I have this thing
Oh,
where I
for the
need to
table.
have ranch with every meal. It's got and it's
Be
also,
that-
say that.
Stone
Not that this
and
takes away from it,
lapis.
but it's gotta be in
Ah,
your head
gold.
because again, ranch doesn't have that much flavor.
It's not hard
So
to
what
get
is it
rid of.
actually doing?
Lapis,
it's
I
a
haven't
fat,
seen
milky
any
fat,
yet.
right? So it's expanding your taste buds, letting you taste more, so you can palate more. So like the sour cream is gonna do it. It's still got that tang, but then that dill
I
sauce.
need to smell
It's
it.
just like dill sauce in my head sounds like it's gonna be like a ranch, but instead of like the oregano with those
Agreed.
Yeah, don't I have
dill,
those?
it's not gonna be that much different.
Did she even try it?
She didn't even try it.
That's the
No way she tried it. Would this be this would be a deal breaker for all of us, right? It would be. See, it's a
There's
deal
bigger
breaker for me
things.
because I love food.
There's bigger
I don't know.
things, but
I don't know.
The ranch on anything I can definitely.
didn't I just get like
I can
50
do
trolls?
being rude consistently.
From somewhere?
Like, if it was a consistent rudeness to a industry worker, that is a deal breaker. So it depends. It just feels like
And we're at a mom and pop restaurant, so like in my head I'm like, you need that ranch with this meal. We can box something out and go to a place that we can put ranch on it that's not disrespectful to the.
Exactly. It's the disrespect, and also the server must have been upset for them to say it, because as a server,
Yeah.
I've seen some crazy
Yeah.
shit where people bring in crazy shit, and usually I'm like, I'm gonna let this one go. But if it upsets me enough,
Yeah.
I'll say something. So the server must have been.
I wouldn't have said anything. So you brought in a bottle.
Yeah. I would've been
like,
like-
you went to the store and got ranch. You need help. First of all,
I'm
second of
gonna
all,
let that be.
eat your meal. They
Right.
established enough information when they said like they didn't have any dressings like a normal restaurant. I'm like, all right, yeah, that's you're out. That's all I need to hear.
Wait, is it a deal breaker?
Yeah, it's a deal breaker. It's a deal breaker not
Alright,
because I'd
cool.
be like, you have to have ranch. You're weird. It'd be that I would say,
Hey,
and I would
why
probably
is my
say this,
shit
I'd be like,
green?
hey, I love food. I love trying new food. I love. There's another genre of food that I've
Uh-huh.
tried. Yeah, I was interested by or like, and I like to
Why?
try things. And if you can't do that, then we can't.
Oh, that is.
There's so many experiences that we're limited by now. Yeah.
Oh, I got
Find someone else who also will just likes basic.
Right. I think it is a
Oh,
deal
I
breaker. You're
discovered
right
it
on
was
like the
a
first couple days.
that's
But
what
if you are together for a while and they have this thing.
Well, we're not gonna get to that.
You're right.
My,
Deal
yeah.
breaker then.
Why is
It's
that
a
a
deal
thing?
breaker for me too because my stomach in my mouth is my way to my heart. Like
Yes.
there is no
So-
way that we're not gonna try all these different foods. Like you're not gonna be able to travel with me. No, Polish Hungarian is not even that like different
So,
from like what we
unpin-
typically eat at
there you go.
restaurants. Like, dude, you're ordering. I bet you they have
Hey.
schnitzel or like bratwurst. Come on. Like, and if
So
I
if I
wanna go
pin
to, like,
something,
fucking,
like
I don't know,
hearts,
like Thailand,
not
like, we're not
hearts.
getting ranch.
Oh
Like-
no.
We're not getting ranch.
We're not getting
You're
ranch.
so limited. so limited. Like, you're not. And what are we gonna eat all that? We're gonna bring ranch in the city. That's another point. You can't travel. Exactly. Yeah. Some comments here. Back in the day, I went out on some bad dates, but expecting an Eastern European-style restaurant to have ranch dressing and nipping out to buy some would go down in the bad date Hall of Fame. Someone else said, yeah, you're the asshole. Did you even try to enjoy the food without the ranch? This is so gross to me. Why don't you just eat ranch since it seems that it's all you enjoy? Don't be petty. Yeah. At a 5-star restaurant, I'll just have the chicken sandwich. OP probably. And look, man, I love some chicken. I was just about to say, at a third restaurant, I love chicken sandwiches. But also fun. At the very least, look.
I think we can learn from somewhere
Communicate
else.
this right off the bat. Don't get to a date and leave your date. Also, don't leave your date alone. Wait to go. She didn't tell him that she was going to. She maybe did, but I don't even like that anyway. So
Yeah.
It's weird. That's bad etiquette.
Well, it's just like
That
stubbornness.
looks fine.
To not even try what they have is not really immersing yourself into the restaurant.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit disrespectful. It's like bringing you there.
Very different if you're like, hey, I'm limited by my allergies. I'm limited by this.
Yeah, sure.
This is a very clear choice. But anyway,
Yeah.
moving on.
Wow.
Yeah,
Fired up.
I'm fired up too.
I'm sure. What
Could
did
have been a
that
legend.
do?
Like, bringing a bottle of ranch into a restaurant.
Like Buffalo Wild Wings.
At face value, we
I
ran
love
out. Sorry. No, Buffalo Wild Wings, you bring. You're like, I have to bring my own hot sauce because your shit doesn't get hot enough.
Oh, that's cool.
That was
I don't mind that.
I'd be like, I want to party with that person.
Yeah.
Because the mango habanero is fire. I can only handle so much. All right, next one. This is on Am I the Asshole and reposted to Am I the Devil? So buckle up. Am I the asshole for telling my fiance that he embarrassed me when he started singing the happy birthday song to his 5-year-old son at the restaurant? Okay. I, a 30-year-old woman, have been with my fiance, Ned, who's 36, for a year and a half. What? Yeah, it's a fake name. Oh, okay. Right. All the names in all these stories are always not real. Okay. They've been dating for a year and a half. He has a 5-year-old son with his ex-girlfriend. They don't have a custody arrangement, but he has him most of the week because the mom is currently sick. His son is lovely, but I notice that Ned takes him everywhere he goes, including places that aren't child-friendly. We have issues with that, but we're working on it. His son's 5th birthday was days ago, and Ned took us out to a restaurant to celebrate. The place was nice, but looked a bit unfitting for the occasion, because it was a somewhat expensive place. Anyways, we ordered food, and when we got the birthday cake, it was a surprise to me because I thought we were going to celebrate at home, where we could be free to sing and play however we wanted. I still had no issue with that until Ned started singing happy birthday singing to his son. I was so stunned I almost dropped my plate. He was singing it at the top of his lungs, not even looking around or paying attention to how many people were staring at us awkwardly. I felt so embarrassed I kept whispering for him to stop, but he ignored me. Of course my future stepson was hyped and a little active when we were in a public place. I expected the staff, the manager, anyone to get involved and stop him, but no one did. In fact, some woman came over to us and offered to help him take a video of it. I wasn't there at all. I froze in my seat, looking stunned and relieved. He looked at me later and asked what was up. I didn't say anything except, thanks for finally noticing. He didn't understand what I meant, and I didn't explain until we were in the car. I flat out told him that he embarrassed me the second he started singing in the restaurant. He looked shocked, saying he didn't know why I was embarrassed by him celebrating his son's birthday and cheering him up. I told him he had done this at home where we would be more comfortable and free. He took it as me being ashamed of him and his son, but I denied it and said that it just felt awkward and embarrassing at the restaurant, and I've never been in this situation. He said that his friends want to cheer me, and he's trying to do all he can to cheer me, that all families do that, and that no one had an issue with it except for me. Then when I tried to explain it, he got mad and said he no longer felt like talking. We haven't been speaking since then. It appears he's still salty about me saying what I said, and insisting that I see him and his son as an embarrassment. Am I the asshole? I think it's a part of ignoring instead of talking about it. There's unspoken rules to etiquette, and I feel like the happy birthday song is allowed almost anywhere.
Anywhere,
It really does.
everywhere.
Almost anywhere, anytime.
The son's mother is sick. And I don't know what.
Besides that, I have never heard someone sing happy birthday and I've been like, how dare they?
Yeah, what do they think they're doing? Guys, just be quiet now.
I feel like every it's also like, yeah, it is our 5-year-old's birthday.
Do it.
The cute little kid at probably a really nice restaurant, and everyone's like, oh, well, baby Potter. And I love how she's like, no one said anything. Like, in fact, the lady came up and offered to me. She's like, yeah, they clearly didn't have a problem.
It sounds like a sketch where she's going like, but it sounds like, hey, and mommy, hey.
And everyone around is like, it's like stare it. I'm thinking of like an internal monologue where it's like everything goes dark on her. She's like, no, not again.
She sounds extremely controlling. It's like the fact that she's like, why did you get at home a week?
And maybe they just have grown up, like, they were just like, we never sing in public. We never like sing that, but they like do it at home and that. And you have to like, that. Yeah. She's like, don't sing happy birthday. Yeah. That's all that. I don't think it's like some more. She's like, hey, like, I don't like it. Like that. Let me raise his son the way he wants and celebrate his son's birthday the way he wants.
I also think it's more than that. It sounds to me like she did not realize that she signed up for the son to be in her life all the time. You hear it, it's like, and he brings his son around everywhere we go.
Yes. Son of 5.
Also, you want to together and you're not in your arms beyond.
Yeah.
Fine. No judgment, but like that's not a lot of people. Feeling like
Establish a connection and the son. And it seems like we have. Based on this, only on this, it doesn't appear. Well, it's probably only been one birthday before this. And in fact, if it's a year and a half, it's only been one birthday
one
before this.
birthday and he was probably the house.
Yeah, and also just for the record, it takes about 10 seconds.
Correct.
And let's go back to this is how the restaurant works for child expensive.
I know.
You're right, something don't deserve
Yes. No, I don't do.
Yeah. I would say it's totally
Sometimes.
it's totally fine. Some children don't. It's completely fine. I will say 5-year-old me, take me to Chili's. Absolutely. But maybe this one's 22-year-old saying take me to Chili's.
Never stop on your chilies because it's so good.
It's okay.
I don't care.
Chili's order. Yeah, we want to see.
Well, talk about the chilies always okay.
That's it. You're a chicken just.
Fajitas.
You did a fajita?
I love.
That's crazy.
Get it out of your room.
Comments here. It's not embarrassing to sing happy birthday to a child. It is, however, super embarrassing to look pissed off at a person singing happy birthday to a child at the same simple, you're the asshole. Someone else said, you're the asshole. If it had actually been an issue, the staff would have intervened. They didn't. Given that the only actual response you got from anyone was unequivocally supportive, I think you're wildly projecting your own embarrassment at having attention called to you in public. And you need to acknowledge that as your problem instead of taking it out on your partner. Whoa, this person was like, hey, I'm gonna respond! You're the asshole. I understand your concern. Strange if I think you cared about your stepson with a public act like that. Holy shit, man.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, the fact that she was trying to whisper to him while he's singing it.
I know. Unwritten rule. You're allowed to do happy birthday. Everyone's allowed to get involved.
Yeah.
I totally forgot to
It's
bring
what
torches.
it is.
And the fact that it didn't, she wasn't disillusioned when the woman came over and was like, I'll take a video of you. Like, it's clearly okay that they were doing that from an outside party.
Yeah. Still was like, this is wrong. I have to drop my plate.
Yeah.
So why are you holding your plate
Why
up?
was your plate up
This
in your
is
hand?
my time.
You're the weird one.
She's like this. I almost dropped my plate.
Yeah. Ridiculous. Next story here. Another one that's posted in like that. Let's see if this person posts something.
Okay. That's it.
Am I the asshole for inviting my waitress out on a date?
No, we can't do that.
You know what? I follow dates from the restaurant.
Someone follows I thought it was you.
Yeah, but that's not the case. You're right. Don't do that. Yeah. I've had a couple times where
Since then, I haven't had the courage to desire to try. It's all involved, so I try to go out and eat by myself on the weekend. When I got to the menu, when my waitress showed up, I was immediately struck by how much she looked like my past wife. I ordered my food, and I worked up the nerve when she came back with the kitchen to ask her out to dinner. She laughed and said she would think about it and left. I felt good about asking until I was done eating and a different waiter came by to take payment. I asked him what happened to the previous waitress, and he told me that she didn't feel comfortable serving me anymore and asked him to clear her table for her. I felt so embarrassed after putting myself out there and getting rejected like that. I thought it would have been okay, and it would have been better just to have heard a simple no from her. Was I the asshole for asking? Here's what it is. She's pretty. Yeah.
It's true.
It's Floyd. It's on the clock.
True. It is her job to be friendly, to be joyful. She is working. However, I do think that it's hard. It's hard with different people.
I would say, based on the context he gave us, there was no sign other than just like, you look like my passed away wife. I would say for me, baseline, yeah, if someone's working, you're an asshole for doing it. Even if it works. Even if it works out in a story where you can be like, yeah, I definitely broke what I would say is an etiquette.
For sure.
While they're working. And at the very least, you can't be upset by however. That's not your right. That's not your right. If a different waiter, if I did this, and I decided, hey, I'm gonna ask this person out, which what I mean is I would need to know.
Alright.
I would need more
That looks better.
than just like, I'm getting a lot. I need to be like, hey, we're having a full-on conversation. You want to know his other faux pas? What? He didn't wait till the end.
I was just gonna say that.
Oh.
You cannot ask out a waitress while they're serving your table currently. It is awkward. It is weird. It changes the dynamic.
Yep.
If you want to ask them out, leave them your number on a thing. I don't think that that's wrong.
No, it's not at all. I think leaving the number at the end of the meal that we are done, our transaction is finished, we have paid, I've signed.
Also, yes, you have to wait till the end of the thing.
Yes.
You're working.
We asked her out before they were done.
Because I just want to get rid of this one, but I can never do that.
How am I going to get a tip?
Because I just tossed away a couple keys that I didn't understand at the time. And still don't understand why that would be a thing.
Also why it sucks too, because I know for myself as a server, I'm a flirt. I'm gonna flirt to get that tip, and I'm gonna be pretty too to get that tip. And a lot of people are like, oh, he's flirting with me. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of my whole thing. Like, that's how I'm gonna get. I'm working. I think leaving the number is the only version of it that I'm like, okay, fine, you leave a number, and you're saying
Is it more
it's like,
unusual?
hey, pressure's off. If I don't receive a call from the party.
Pressure is off.
But I think that's the only version of it where I'm not like, hey, you're being a little bit of an asshole. But where you're absolutely an asshole, and this is across the circumstances, is, and I mean,
Man, how many
not in, like, you're a
unusual
bad person. Like,
things
you
are
know,
here?
you might, out of pocket, if you ask someone out while they're working, you might make them uncomfortable. Yeah. And that makes an asshole. I'm not saying like you, but it's, hey, okay, really be certain. Yeah. And where you're absolutely an asshole no matter what is if someone rejects you, however they do, and you push back even the slightest bit, you're 100% asshole.
I agree with that. I do think it gets complicated because I do think in like rom-coms, TV shows, like all these things, it's always like, you know, the waitress or the server, and like that's how you meet. I don't think it's right to ask out someone while they're working, but I think it gets really complicated.
I have a question. What if the roles were flipped?
What if it was a girl asking
the server is asking the customer out at the end of the meal. I think we were talking about like the woman and the man, and like straight up, I think the issue is that so many straight dudes are so dangerous out there that they're the ones who f it up. Yeah. Like we can only be mad at them. We can only be mad at them. I mean, we just had a story earlier of someone stalking someone. Like
they make it scary.
That's the problem.
They make it scary where sometimes I feel like it's
situation where you're like, oh, I think this woman's really cute. I want to ask her out, but you have to be like, but she doesn't know me. So there is, based on statistics, a high chance that I'm a dangerous person.
Yeah.
And I mean her hard.
Yeah.
Right. You have to consider that.
That's
And you know, oh, my intentions are good though. Yeah, you know that. She doesn't. And that's the,
And
and
she has
that's,
reason to believe the exact opposite.
That's
and
why-
that's why I say like you're an asshole based on this thing. Like you're not where you make mistakes. First mistake harder. Yeah.
I agree. And just write your number down later and then leave.
Yes.
That's the thing. Don't sit there and wait. Like
If they want to text you, they will text.
I can't stand when there's dudes who are creepy as F who are just like saying, oh, you're beautiful. Oh, you look like my dead ex-wife.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's like, okay, cool.
100%.
Hey, Chance, can you take over my entire section?
Absolutely.
Now I can't be in
The
the
thing I've heard, and we'll get into these comments, is the thing I've heard, and I feel like the best thing you can do is ask someone else, how do you make them feel like as safe as possible so that they can walk away from this and get away from this super easily. And that's the best.
Write your number down.
Write your number down and be gone.
Be gone.
So comments here. You're the asshole. Do not proposition women who cannot leave if they choose. This means any woman who is in a workplace in which you are the customer. It means any place where a woman cannot physically step away from you
I
if
don't
they choose.
think I'm ready to go
Someone said
there.
very, very soft, you're the asshole. You shouldn't be discouraged from getting out and opening your heart to potential partners, but I can see how the situation may have been awkward for the waitress. I'm sorry for your loss, OP. Someone said, you're the asshole. If you want to ask a waitress out, leave your number on the receipt. Way less awkward and puts her in control without having to feel pressured by your presence. If she's interested, cool. If not, Big Jerry working the grill will probably text you. And I agree with that, and that's what I mean. It's like and especially this guy. I'm like, you didn't have bad intentions. Just what about this bad?
But also, did you really like her, or did he just look like a dead ex?
That's also a little weird thing.
That's
It's like
also
if you
some
started
psychic
dating,
damage right there.
if you started dating, if it did work out, you started dating. It's like, yeah, here's a picture of my ex-wife that you look just like.
Put on this dress.
This might have been the best case scenario. I think this was the best case scenario for that guy. How many times do you think you got asked out while you were working?
A lot. That's how Tim Robbins asked me out.
Yeah?
But he literally, he was leaving,
Yeah.
and his son was leaving too.
Yeah, that's fair.
And they literally wrote their number down on a receipt and left.
Yeah.
And it was a private party, and I didn't feel like it was creepy or anything, but I feel like I got asked out a lot, but the thing is, it's like, I don't know, it was when I first moved here,
I
and
don't think it's the
I was
promise
single
that
at
jump
the
out at
time,
you.
and I don't know.
I don't know, but they
It
could
wasn't,
be.
I don't know. When you work in the restaurant industry for a really long time, you are so used to
Yeah.
the creeps
Yeah.
and not the creeps, and you can distinguish them in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
You see them and you're like, creep,
Yeah.
not creep.
100%.
And so I was very like open to, if I didn't get creepy vibes and they left their number, cool.
Yeah.
There were many times
many.
that I got asked out that was creepy and weird, and I had to give up my section. Many times.
Yeah.
It just became part of the job. I know that
Yeah.
sounds crazy.
No,
but
and
it became part of what I had to set myself up for.
And it sucks that it's a reality. It's unfair. It's stupid. It's shitty. But yeah.
But you have to adapt, because I growing up from Boston, I don't want to be afraid every day. I don't want to be
this is
angry every day.
awesome.
Every time I get beat up, I don't want to be pissed. So Amanda, needed to adapt. And so I just added it into my schedule. I know that sounds crazy, but I added it into my schedule. I'm like, all right, which girl am I going to deal with today?
Right.
And which person is going to ask me out that maybe like, for me, I had to adapt, because I want to be happy, and I don't want other people who are fucking creeps
Yeah, no.
distinguish my day.
today.
Like,
Yeah.
change my
I
whole
got
day.
time for
Well, also creeps, not just creeps, but just like assholes in general.
Assholes.
You learn to compartmentalize. You're
Yeah,
like,
you're like,
can't let this table affect the
I'm
rest
having
of
a
the night.
good day and I look good
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
I'm not gonna let you like I've had a person slap my ass while they went to the bathroom. Yes, has it
Yeah.
hurt like my day? But I'm like, I can't keep letting that shit hurt my day.
What's so weird is that nowhere else, I've worked in restaurants for my whole life in Tennessee and Chicago and LA and different places in LA,
Wild.
different places too.
Yeah.
And nowhere, never got hit on or like
cashed out anywhere besides running here. I guess there's just more gay people here also.
Yeah.
But like it changed everything, and then all of a sudden like you're getting your ass pinched while you walk by and all that stuff, and I'm like, what the? But then you get hit on by people you want to get hit on, and you're like, okay, well now it's kind of weird.
Yeah, so you kind of like,
Yeah.
you're like, oh.
Yeah, and so it really confuses other people too, because what's happening is your section's really close together. This table, it's this really hot guy that you are flirting with,
Yeah.
and like you're doing something, and like you're
like, hello.
you're like, okay, so what can I get? You guys want dessert? You
Like,
want
like,
free dessert?
come in a little.
And then the table next to you is the creeps that hear this, and they're like, we want free dessert. I'm like, no, it's not for you. It's for them.
That is a perfect description of compartmentalizing. Is your section is literally creep, cool, fun people,
Yeah.
hot.
Yeah.
Creep, cool, fun people, hot.
Yeah,
And
that's
you're
so
just like,
true.
yeah. True story.
This episode is brought to you by NordVPN. Let's move on.
Move on.
Alright. Am I the asshole for bringing my sister-in-law's wallet to the restaurant when she conveniently always forgets it? Alright. This might be our legend. This wallet? Yes! Your Honor, my sister-in-law. In the top hat.
So it's like 10,
Okay.
30-ish.
28-year-old woman, and her sister-in-law Amy, 26, always comes to visit from out of town. She stays with us instead of a hotel and always wants to go to expensive restaurants. She always conveniently forgets her wallet or comes up with some excuse as to why she can't pay her share. She's implied that since I make much more money than her, I should be the one to pay. So, not that my husband should pay, but me specifically. I do make a fair amount of money, but not so much that I can treat someone every time they come in to pay. Nonetheless, in the past, I have just paid the bill and asked her to pay back. She never has. She made a reservation at an extremely expensive restaurant last night, and before we left, I made it clear that I wouldn't be paying her bill. This is where I might be the asshole, and I'll admit I got this move straight from an episode of 2.5 Men.
Awesome.
Oh my
I
God.
love it. You don't like it? I love it.
As we were leaving, my husband and her went to the car. I pretended I forgot something and went back inside. I found her wallet sitting right on top of her suitcase. I put it in my purse and we went to the restaurant. When we were done eating, I asked for separate bills. She said, no, we need one bill because she forgot her wallet again. I reached my purse and said, this wallet? She was extremely furious. She said that I should not have touched or grabbed her wallet. So am I the asshole for taking her wallet and bringing it to the restaurant? Wait! It edited it all. Amy just called me. She saw this post and she yelled at me for bad-mouthing her on the internet. Honestly, I don't care. Amy, hopefully reading all these comments is a wake-up call for you.
Whoa! Whoa! She just made it real awkward. Mad awkward.
Real awkward.
I feel bad for her
Said
husband.
the price of this relationship is right here.
Yeah.
Her husband's just like,
Bullshit.
not the asshole, but I would have probably done it differently because I would have been like,
Oh my god,
hey,
what the hell?
I would have had a conversation.
I would have been like, before we left, when we were getting in the car, you know,
Alrighty.
be like, you have everything? Steve, phone, wallet?
Wallet? Oh, wait.
Could I
no,
save
oh,
this?
You got your wallet? Here, let's go
Probably
get
would
in
have
the
been like,
car.
yeah. Well, she probably would have been like, yeah. Like, because you always forget your wallet.
Okay,
got
you
it?
can Venmo me. I'll Venmo request.
That's also a thing too.
But bringing the wallet.
I just also would be like, we're not going to an expensive restaurant.
She said, how many times did she say that it's happened? It's happened so many times.
So many times, and that the sister-in-law made a reservation at the expensive restaurant. I'd be like, no, we're not going.
Yeah, I don't
done
think
with
she's
it.
the asshole.
Oh, why? Wait.
No.
Who paid for it? What happened? Oh, yeah.
So it sounds like based on the
What do I
comments here that the
do
sister-in-law
with
still
it?
didn't think she was mad. This is one of those situations where I'm like, why are you letting this person do this?
Also, the husband needs to get involved. That's his sister.
Oh, it's his sister.
It's his
You're right.
sister.
Yeah, he's just kind of there.
Like, get involved. You know?
Yeah, not the husband paying, me specifically paying.
Also, they should have come to it together. Maybe the husband and the wife would have been like, she probably just, but maybe if they both were like, here's your wallet, we found it, we brought it for you, like if they were going to do that. I do think bringing the wallet is kind of like, ugh.
look, she fought fire with fire there, but it's also weird that the sister-in-law is making her pay. She said she's not asking. That's what I was saying. It's some weird shit. This is a weird person. Based on the story, I don't like them.
This sounds like a bigger issue with the husband and his sister.
No, it's taking this one.
And I feel like the sister-in-law, the husband needs to set some fucking boundaries there, because the wife should not be in charge of taking care of the sister-in-law like that.
Also, this wallet is the wrong line. That is the wrong.
What is the right line?
The right line is. Oh my
Is
God,
there something on this page that fucked me?
True.
I saw it on your suitcase and I grabbed it.
Oh yeah. Oh, it was just sitting out on your suitcase in the car, and I didn't want it to get stolen. Here it is.
Please tell me
Or
it's
you could
just
before you went to the restaurant.
just a
been
leg
like,
spike,
hey,
not
I saw your
thing.
wallet still on your suitcase. Can you go grab it?
Yeah.
Alright, cool, it was just a
Go
leg
grab it.
spike.
We'll go together. Let's hold hands and go there.
Comments here. Not the asshole. Definitely not an asshole, but you might be a legend. Not the asshole if she'd actually forgotten her wallet. She would have been grateful you remembered. Of course, we all know she never forgot it. You're already saving her hotel costs by allowing her to stay in your home. The least she should be doing is treating you to a meal out to thank you for hosting. Not the asshole, and that's not how I operate. People come.
I'm same. Honestly, same.
I have luckily never. Well, we've had a lot of
Where's the
stories like this.
book?
People kind of like
I don't know if
making
there's a
other people
book.
pay the bill. I've never dealt with it. I guess I've never gone to dinner with two big of assholes because I feel like splitting the bill has never been an argument. No, I've gone out. No, never. Especially with Venmo now, like and stuff like that.
Well, I think if you go with people who've been in the service industry, you don't make it.
Yeah.
Because you're like, we are not splitting this 70 ways.
I don't know. I'm a giver, and I will. Most of the time, if people are visiting me, I'm gonna pay the bill before they see the bill.
Correct.
The waiter already has the bill. That's my expectation. I don't expect you to pay. And when I'm visiting, I don't expect you to pay for me.
I agree completely. And if your mother is visiting, I am taking care.
Oh,
My husband and I are taking care of the bill,
absolutely.
even if she gets pissed.
Yeah, I'm of the mindset whenever I go like out to dinner with people that I'm like, I need to prepare to be myself.
What do I do?
Like no matter what. Yep. And I just need to be in that mindset, and I can be pleasantly surprised if someone's like, hey, I got this. Yeah, but do not go with that expectation. That is how you're gonna ruin friendships. You will ruin relationships with that mindset. And you're gonna be so much happier if you're prepared to do the whole bill. And I'm not super well off. I'm not like rolling in dough.
Yeah.
And sometimes it'll like put me out. Maybe I don't know how many people are at this dinner. Just be prepared. That worst case scenario, I'm gonna have to cover the bill. Or because I do not want to be in a situation where we can't cover the bill.
Where it's like, I only got a nice tea.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that.
I get it too, but I'm just ready to do it just in case. You have that base so many relationships. If you have that mindset, you can then communicate beforehand of like, hey, I can't afford to go to this place. Boom. And then it's like, hey, we'll figure it out. Boom. Then it's like you communicated it. But it's waiting till the bill to then go, well, I was expecting you to get it.
She's clearly very manipulative, and she clearly feels she's using her brother and sister-in-law as like mommy daddy right now. Like she's put them in that role,
Yeah.
and it's that.
I didn't do
it's up
much
to the
stuff
brother
to
to
this
set up
construct.
freaking
I need to
boundaries.
get that.
Communication.
But if he
rolling.
can't, then it's up to unfortunately the wife to set a boundary. Like, I'm so sorry you can't stay with us right now.
Yeah.
You have to get a hotel room.
To go back on what I just said, she said she is not paying for the meal before the meal started. She established it. She established that. She's like, you still want to go. You made this reservation, and I am not paying for it. No, this full on. That's messed up.
So,
Alright, next story.
okay. I am hot.
I'm hot too. Am I the asshole for leaving itemized tips to compensate for my wife's behavior? What?
Peace.
Okay.
What the hell is
My
that?
wife and I, in our 30s, dine out every once in a while, but not too often because of my wife's annoying habit inherited from her family. She always complains, sends food back if it's not absolutely perfect, and makes needless requests / substitutions. She doesn't have allergies or sensitivities. It can easily take 5 minutes for her just to order her own food.
And sometimes I've
What
already finished
does
my
it?
meal by the
No.
time she gets her food because she sends it back, asks for modifications, etc. I know restaurant staff don't appreciate it. I've tried talking to her about this, but she doesn't.
The hell is
seem to get
that?
it. Anyway, we make decent money and we use our combined fun funds on dates/dinners. I recently started writing what my wife does on the receipt
well, I have
and
that.
calculating a tip in addition to the normal gratuity
Here we go.
to compensate. So to a receipt, I might add, complained about not having blank beverage,
Is this
plus
chunks?
$5. Asked 5 questions about a single menu item, plus
Oh,
$5.
no.
Asked for a new drink.
The
that has
middle
too
line
much
is the
ice,
chunk.
plus
Right.
$5. Sent meal back was exactly what she ordered, plus $5. She
This
didn't notice me doing it the first 2 to 3 times, but last night she noticed I was
one
spending
is
a
a
lot
good
of time on
one.
writing a tip amount and asked why. I showed her what I wrote. She's been mad at me since, saying I'm embarrassing her to the staff. I told her she's embarrassing us both. Am I the asshole? Petty, maybe, but an asshole? Edit. My wife is otherwise a very nice, caring, and generous person. She does
Maybe
always
right
say
here.
please and thank you, even for her most absurd requests. Annoying each other like this is our love language, but this time she's pretty mad. Oops.
So
It's
that
tough
one's
to
safe.
say
That
mad.
one's safe.
You know what,
That one
Matt?
is
On a server, you're
safe.
swim.
That one
They
is
have a
safe.
system.
Those two are safe.
One shot.
It's a little bit of like, please
This
and
is
thank
one
you.
safe. And
No.
these two might be
Too much
safe.
ice,
Three of
please,
these must be
thank
safe.
you.
Well, it's also, I would be mad too because I would be embarrassed. Because I would see in written form,
Yeah.
Oh,
oh, this
God
is what
damn
I'm
it.
doing. I'm upset, but not at you. I'm upset at myself because now I have
Oh.
written text of what I've done.
You're a
I have
healthy
10?
person.
No, I have 6.
I wonder though, we don't have
I don't
context
think
of.
that's what she's thinking.
Yeah.
I think that is what she's thinking, but I don't think she's really thought about what she's thinking.
Well, we don't have.
I don't think she can. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like she's thinking it and she's acting out, but she's not like looking inwardly and being
Yeah.
like, why am I actually mad? What's actually making me mad right now?
What we don't have context on is whether or not he has tried to
No,
communicate with her
basically-
about.
That's what I was wondering, because if he
No,
He
had
said he had.
Has he?
Yeah, he said he did.
I could buy it.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Where's
Sorry, I
the
take that
shop?
back. So he established? I've tried talking to her about this, but
It
she
must
doesn't
be
seem
like
to.
somewhere else.
So he has tried, and
now he's just like, shit.
yeah, like I'll pay for it.
Okay.
Did he just show her the thing that he wrote down? How did that happen?
Yeah, she goes. What?
Stop. If you really like her, she's like, why is he so on her tip? Right?
And I showed her what I wrote. Saying she's been mad at me since, saying I'm embarrassing her to the staff. I told her she's embarrassing as well. Yeah, she said you're embarrassing me to the staff. It's like, no, you already did that.
That's already been done.
I don't
I'm
think
compensating
I
for
don't
what's
think
already
he's the asshole because they're married, they have their own love language, they have their own back and forth.
Yeah,
To be
I'll
honest
probably
with
do
you,
the
if he's already
thing
trying to
that
communicate it with her, and this is like another
So-
way that he's trying to enjoy going out to dinner, well, whatever. What?
Oh, God damn it.
What's happening here?
I just thought about something.
What?
You should have just put the extra tip in. You shouldn't be writing it.
The right.
No, I think that is pretty, a little bit.
Yeah, it is pretty
It
writing.
is a little,
And it says it's kind of an inside joke between him and the staff. It is, and it's an inside joke. If he's not showing her every time, he's like it's an inside joke between me and the staff showing I'm cool. She's the problem.
Yeah, he said annoying each other like this is our love language, but he wasn't.
that
But he
mean?
wasn't showing her. This was a secret to her.
oh, right.
Him and
Oh,
the staff.
then it is.
It's like I'm the cool one. I promise. I'm paying for the check.
That's like
sorry
being like,
she's such a
I'm
bitch.
so sorry about my bitch wife.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and I mean, I'm not a marriage counselor or
Whatever's
an
in
expert in any sort of sense, but stuff like this, I'm like, you're telling me this isn't going to
I know,
turn into
I know.
resentment at some point in your marriage?
Yeah.
Like, bro, I mean, it's a, but also, I think she needs to acknowledge, like, whether she is fine with doing it or not, she needs to acknowledge, like, it is embarrassing. Like, you are making the staff work harder, and you are not in control. You
Hello.
The restaurant, you are not in control. Let the restaurant take over.
else is gonna do your dishes.
That's the thing. Let the restaurant take over.
Yes.
Let them serve you how they curated the menu.
It is
Let them
purposeful.
serve-
There's been a lot of that. There have been so much thought.
Like,
I
hey, enjoy the experience. If I was your husband, I would have been like,
was at a restaurant and someone sent a drink back because it had too much ice, I think
Yeah,
I
no.
in the face and go, fuck, there's no
Not right
explanation
now.
for this. This is something she does.
That
And
doesn't look
something she does
real
specifically at restaurants. This is not a behavior that could be catered to restaurants, I guess. It was a normalized thing for her growing up, but it's once again, if she wants to say, hey, I'm gonna
just
do this,
walking
this is how I
by.
am, this is how I eat, but she needs to also acknowledge, yeah, I am making the waiter's day harder.
for me
I
to
can't
get to
deny that.
Shanghai
Not only the waiter,
Castle.
but not only the waiter,
Everybody.
there's cooks, there's
whole
food
system.
runners, there's expos, there's now this ticket, that this menu, this item that has gone out thousands of times,
Everything.
has all of these modifications on it. So now this guy is standing with his ticket who didn't bring it in, a server
Expo.
reason. Expo is gonna have to read this to the cook. A lot of times they speak different languages and like there's little modifications that they don't understand. Like it doesn't translate well. So now I have to explain how to do this dish that they've done 1,000 times, so that makes sense to them. While they have 26
And it picks
other
up
tickets.
every other table because this
Shit.
food's getting cold, this food's getting cold.
Yeah.
I'm not
This
dealing
guy's
with
getting
that. I'm not
pissed.
dealing
Now
with
this
that.
server's having a
No.
bad day. Now he's gonna be in a
Oh my
happy
God,
mood with
dude.
the other tables. Cocktails are sitting and waiting.
Oh my god, he's still
Everything's
fucking running at me, dude.
I think it's like,
Oh.
I get frustrated. This got so.
I'm not dealing with
Because
that.
I know there's people that go, well, I need food a certain way, and I have my preferences, but I'm like,
Don't go
I
into a restaurant.
but I think when you're at a
There are
restaurant,
also places.
I think when you're at a restaurant, you kind of have to let go a little bit of the I.
What is this
Like,
guy's
you're at a
problem?
place where you are affecting a lot of people's day.
Man, he's still coming?
Week.
You have to let go of 80% of your control at a restaurant. Do not go out to a restaurant if you're not down for
God,
the
why is he still
experience.
running?
I'm
Well,
sorry.
There are places that you can go,
Sure.
and there are also places that
he's
like,
coming
you
back
serve, like
now.
not serve yourself, but there
I
are
don't know,
places
maybe
you
he's
can cater
going
your
to
own
get the
whatever
other
you need.
guys.
Correct.
Do it, and there are restaurants that, and there are certain modifications that are they are like we can do this.
So open to it.
We can do these
So
things.
go to those restaurants.
We have a lot of options available to you.
Yeah.
With free, vegan, you don't want food. Actually, we can do that. We can do that.
Yeah.
But like when you start getting into it, if the restaurant is like, we can't do this, or like it's not an option that is on the menu for you, it doesn't work.
I
Doesn't
agree.
work. Okay.
Eden.
It makes everyone's life so much worse. So we have some comments here. Not the asshole. That must be mortifying. Let's have your wife work as a waitress in one of the restaurants you both frequent. Let's see how fast her behavior changes. Someone else said, not the asshole. Please continue doing this until she isn't a nightmare to wait staff. Saying please and thank you doesn't mean jack shit if you're making problems that aren't there in order to feel satisfied, or whatever the motivation is to doing this way. A new comment. Everyone sucks here. Your wife sucks, but you do too because you treat it like throwing money at the problem will make it okay. At restaurants, you pay money for food, drinks, and service. Insulting and degrading the staff is not okay. How would you feel if I slapped you in the face, but then gave you $5 and said it wasn't that bad because I was nice about it? Money does not entitle you to hurt others.
But money's, hey, great. Thank you so much.
Wait, I also have to say, I'm going back to the modifications again. A lot of the times, people don't realize that the food has already been prepped hours before. It is slated to serve 1,000 people that night. Like we have this dill
Oh yeah,
sauce
I need to
that we
get
have
that
already made. We
ready.
cannot take out the dill. It is in the sauce.
I know.
We're like, wait, I'm allergic to this. Can you take this off? No, it's already the onions are already balsamic. They are already roasted in balsamic dressing there in a vat that we can heat up. They just got made hours before. We can't make another vat just for you. That's not how this works.
I agree.
Have you ever been based on like, have you ever been out to dinner with someone who's really embarrassing and left like an extra tip? Always. Really? Always. No. I'm saying like, have you ever been in a situation like this where you're out to dinner and someone you were dining with was kind of shitty to the waitstaff, so you were like, I'm gonna add. Like if that ever happened, if that happened, of course. But
Okay.
has it? Yeah, I have.
It
With big heart, with like a
What does
big
this
group.
do?
I'm sorry that we were so rambunctious and.
It's happened to me with a new friend. I remember it was very small. We were getting like
I
coffee or
guess
something.
I'll wear them.
And she was being so specific about her latte. It was like got it redone twice. And I, in front of her, was like, I'm so sorry. And she let me have it. She was like, I won't verbally say it. I'm just very cautious about it.
I would never apologize on someone's behalf.
And I did, and that was a big lesson for me. So it's tricky with the tip thing. I think if we're a group and I'm with my friends and we've been loud, we've been asking for a lot of things, yeah, I'll leave a bigger tip.
Yeah, and I have friends, I know people with food sensitivities or situations where they would maybe do something like this, but I totally understand. And the way they go about it is so respectful and different. But I'm typically very wary and cautious of controlling people, and controlling people typically give that kind of response. So if I'm around someone who exhibits that kind of behavior, I usually just try to remove myself and remove myself as far away from it.
I now will try to do that because I've definitely been burned.
Because they eventually
Oh, I can make black
controlling
diaphragm.
the stuff around them to try to control it.
Yes,
And it typically happens.
Huh.
my husband is
That's it?
bartender, bar manager.
Alrighty. That's fine.
In our relationship, we sit at the bar. He is watching the bar, watching how things are prepared. Sometimes he's like, oh, I love how they do that. Oh, what's that? That's not clean, or whatever. And I used to get so frustrated about it because I used to not be calm. But now I'm like, this is something he enjoys.
Yeah.
This is something he loves. When I go see a show, like a comedy show, you best believe I'm sitting there thinking about all that shit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, because I love
Might as
him
well
and
do
now
that.
understand the root of it,
Because I can.
I get it, but I will say still as a server, sometimes I can't turn it off.
No,
I stack all the plates at the end.
of
I'm
course.
like, all the plates are like, wow, thank you. I'm like,
But here's the thing with servers, when we come into the restaurant, and me and my mom famously server,
Yes.
Casey Fenton.
yes.
When we go to a restaurant, we are your best friend, your greatest ally, or your worst nightmare, because we are so
Yes.
unforgiving to maybe not bad service. When we can see your section, we see what's going on, we see the kitchen most of the time, we know what's going on, so we know if you're just doing a bad job. And then
Yeah.
we're like,
Yeah, but
we're
Yeah.
Tiffany's
still
also a
gonna
thing.
tip at least 20%.
Of course.
Always, but we're not
I could do
like
it out
the,
here.
the back and forth is not we're not gonna be your friend.
I agree.
We're gonna be
Wait,
very
hear me
stern.
out.
What?
Are you the type of people that go, we're servers?
If they're doing a bad job,
Ooh, I don't drop that
Oh.
ever, because when I used to serve, people that go, we're servers too, and I'm like,
when if you said that, I'd go through service.
well, sometimes those are the nightmare tables.
Those sometimes they.
But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm like,
You're like, I know you're just,
yeah,
bad.
yeah,
Because I can see your section,
yeah.
and all of it has the plates
They're
and
so
the
it's so
table.
dirty. Dirty sections,
Dirty sections are the
mine.
worst. So yeah, take us out to dinner.
But really, like
I'm great
most
at
of
a
the time, I'm
restaurant.
like,
Not
I'm
yet,
gonna
but
banter with you. Like,
definitely
I'm
gonna
be
have
at your
it,
table. I'm
yeah.
gonna be really easy. Right. If there are modifications, I'll ask, and I'll be like, I really don't like truffle oil. Is there any way a truffle oil would not be on it? Like, no, it's
Love it.
Alright, here's the update. Alrighty, friends, we've had our laughs and shared our perspectives. Since my wife frequents the subreddit, I went ahead and showed her this post. With that said, I'd like to address a few things.
The
First,
hell is
you and I
that?
both know that any posts on this sub are from holes into people's lives and characters, not display cases. Yes, my wife
Never
was
seen that
dining
before,
out
just a
bad,
house.
which is why I tried to think of a way to point it out and
Nice, probably
make up
just-
for it. That said, she's not a bad person. Learn to separate
What
the two.
the
and
hell
you'll
is
get far.
that?
Okay, dude. This she may have learned.
Learn to separate
Yeah.
the two, and you'll get far in life. She's like, and you'll get far in life.
Yeah. Secondly, when I say she was, well, is mad at me, I don't mean that she is deeply hurt and distraught. She's calling me an asshole, yes, but that's normal
Okay.
for us.
I'm probably a
If
bad
this was
guy.
something that was actually hurtful to her, I wouldn't be sharing it online.
Alright,
Anyway, she would like for you all to know that she is taking your responses to
the
heart,
sound
and
told
she's
me
looking
all
more
that there
mindful
is
of
to
how
know
she
about
dines.
that.
She would like to add that she didn't think it was a big deal before because, as she puts it, she doesn't think twice about meeting
just gonna
expectations in her line of work,
around
even if they are above and beyond the
whatever's
norm.
there,
She's just happy to meet
top
demands,
around.
but she recognizes that not everyone feels that way. She's going to try to be a better customer. She said reading this was brutally eye-opening, but we both also found some laughter and had a good discussion.
Oh god.
Okay, that comment actually just solidified it.
It solidifies that she is the asshole.
She is being tied up right now, and
She
she's
at
like,
gunpoint.
tell them I'm
My wife
ridiculous.
said, she likes to meet a demand, and she literally said, or he said that. I'm sorry that some people just don't want to meet expectations. That's what she said. Like they can't. I'm sorry that you can't meet my expectations. Because there were explanations that could have been given where she's like, I'm so sorry. You know, like I'm very specific about things, and I know and all this stuff.
I know there's just gonna be like
and it solidifies
a Thunderdome somewhere.
This was an Am I the Devil, right?
With a
No.
Also, she didn't say anything. He wrote it for her, which is so bizarre.
Well, it might not have a post, or it might not have a.
I don't have a computer.
Okay, there's a thing.
All right, here's your MacBook. Yeah, can I get more RAM on this? This isn't the RAM. I want the RAM I wanted. All right, here's our last story. This comes from a great subreddit. Tales from your server. Don't get it. The phone call. I know we all have had those phone calls. The ones from customers after they get paid out and something was messed up. They can range from the upset woman who got the chicken when it was supposed to be steak and wants it to cost the next time she comes in, to the raging man who found one onion in his taco and is planning to drive to the store to scream at the manager and wants everyone fired. It's always a little nerve-wracking when you deal with these phone calls. The procedure for my store
What the hell is happening?
phone calls is to get a manager immediately, but I feel like I can deal with these customers better than my managers. And my managers all know this, so I am allowed to take these calls. It was a busy Thursday evening because we have a burrito special, so the store was slammed. We also have Uber Eats, which means we have Uber drivers coming in and out getting takeout orders. On Uber Eats, the customer can sometimes write comments and specify certain things that they want done to their order. After we slowed down a little bit, we got the Uber order, and in the comments the man said, "Could you please add napkins and draw a smiley face on something to make me a little happy?" Of course, after I showed all the servers, we all freaked out and said we would write him so many notes just to brighten up his evening. We ended up making over 50 notes, including jokes, drawings, and little stories, and added an extra side of queso. It felt really nice to be able to do something for somebody. So, as I was getting ready to clock out, one of the other servers comes in and says there's a man on the phone who wants to speak to a manager about something. But they're all so busy, so can you take this? Of course I'm like, oh geez, I do not want to be dealing with this right before I leave, but I reluctantly agree and ask him how I can help. He proceeded to tell me that he was the one who placed the Uber order, and after receiving all the notes, he just wanted to call and say thank you. He started to cry on the phone, and I didn't know what to say, so I just told him that we love serving him and we hope to continue to do so. He told me that he wishes he was able to come into the restaurant, but hadn't been able to leave his house in years.
I definitely came from this way.
I started to tear up and asked him to hold on for a minute. I got all the servers and put them on speakerphone to say hello from We all just wanted to say have a great night. And all
I'm
the
just
girls
calling him the
got
guy.
and started saying,
Because I don't know what the hell he is.
We can't wait
Sounds like
I took the phone
one of
off
the
speakerphone
powerful
after everyone had
witches.
said something. I told him that he was now not only a valued customer but a friend. I thanked him again and hung up. Now I'm sitting in my car crying, thinking about this stranger, and I hope we helped him. Oh.
Oh.
Yep.
I was waiting for the butt.
I was waiting for the butt.
I was waiting for him to be like,
Buddy showed up and
no.
held us hostage. This car drives the
What a happy face.
Oh, that's so sweet. I really thought for a second
I
he was
was
going to be
thinking
mad about the note. Which I was like, do you have any... I thought they were going to freak him out. Like, I thought he was going to call and be like, hey, I have one smiley face. Yeah. You got to take these notes back. Oh, that's so nice. Do you guys have any memorable, like, super wholesome stories from serving?
Definitely a lot of bullshit.
Yeah, it looks like I'm...
Super bad ones stick out.
Yeah, I'm planning to shower soon. In about 3 minutes I have to shower. So I'll probably head back.
Oh, absolutely. Some customers are
Not do
absolutely
much
amazing. Like,
else today.
oh, I think a while back I had this.
Is that what
this
that
girl,
is?
She had like lost her mom, and she was like eating food by herself. I forget. But I remember her being
What
like,
in
you could
the
tell that
world
she's
is
been
that?
crying all day. And as a server, I don't get too personal ever.
Sure.
I like them in and out usually.
Yeah.
I'm not like, are you
How is
okay, honey? Like, I don't do any of that. I just kind of let it be. And I very much, like, was
Oh, it's this
kind,
time.
but, like, not over the top.
Alrighty.
Being normal. And at the end, she just broke down
like that server was so fun.
I am the opposite. A 16 top, I'm like, hello, let's turn on the performance. Where a 2 top, I'm like, hey, let's get real. Order this, but don't order this. Order this, but
Yeah, what
order
the
that.
I do that
Let me
too.
get some taste for you. I love a 2 top.
Yeah, and people are always so appreciative. Like, so appreciative. They're like, yep, servers never do this. I'm like,
Oh.
you don't go out to eat a lot.
Or-
a lot of servers do exactly like, don't order that. Do order that.
Yeah, I always thought, I think maybe servers don't do that.
Really?
Yeah, because I get that all the time. They're like,
I used to get that all the
best
time
server,
too.
no one ever tells me or like tells me what to do. I'm like, what? What's
Yeah.
wrong with your server?
Yeah, there's the alarm.
I definitely like when I go to a restaurant knowing like, not that I'm like, I'm brightening up this server thing. I like to know that I'm like, I am not making their day worse. Like, I just want to be here. There was one time where I was
I
at
think
a
it's
restaurant, and we weren't being like extra like awesome. We were just like by and then be like, hey, I'm so sorry, this is taking a while. And she goes, oh, it's fine. Yeah. And but she kept coming back to like, thank you guys are so awesome. And we could tell that it was vibe that was awful. But we were just literally being like, oh yeah, it's whatever. Like, whatever. To the point that at the end, she was like, you guys want to shop with me right now? And we were like, yeah, sure. Like, it was, we were just like, oh, and then she brought us a free dessert, like a free dessert.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm always the table is being chill.
Yep, the more you are, the more you're
And they're like thinking about drinks. I'm like, I'll taste.
yep,
I'll get you tasters of everything. Try this. Hey, this was
and there are
extra.
so many hacks. Not only does the restaurant have built into it for cool people, like if you the less you modify, the more you're gonna get for free.
Yep.
The cooler you are, the more things you're gonna get off your bill.
Yep.
Like,
There's so many hacks. You're right, and the restaurant builds them in there.
yeah, and the servers know their own hacks too within the system of the restaurant.
Yes.
Yeah, this was so sweet.
So sweet.
Well, really just like an awesome one. Some comments here. I'm crying in the club right now.
Oh my god.
Someone else said,
Yeah,
take
I'm
your
a-
fucking upvote. I'm ugly crying with this. Someone else said, was expecting to feed my cynicism, but got hit right in the feels instead.
Yeah.
Bravo, chain Mexican restaurant. Bravo. And then lastly, someone said, the service industry definitely has its downs, but brightening other people's day always helps brighten my own.
It has a lot of ups.
It has a lot of
The
roller
service
coasters.
industry has a lot of ups. I've met some of the greatest people on the planet.
I would say mostly up.
I agree with
Because
you.
most people, when they're leaving, they're full, they might be a little tipsy, they just had good conversation.
And you feel good. You feel good. And I love stories like that because really you really can change someone's whole outlook, someone's whole day
Yeah.
by giving them food, giving them time, and you really don't have to do much. And I love it. There's so many ups. And also what I love too, what I used to love about serving, is it was an amazing meditation because you weren't thinking about
Nothing.
everything in your life. You weren't thinking about anything.
You're in the
You were just
zone.
going. And when you're in the zone and hours pass by, you're
Yeah.
like, oh, it's
Yeah.
gratitude.
It is meditative. Wow. Man.
Pretty cool. And being in the industry, especially in LA, oh my god, every restaurant is connected with a web of
Oh, yeah.
industry people.
That's true.
You go in, you're like, oh yeah, I used to bartend here, they're like, oh my god, free this, free that, free that.
Yeah.
Now when I go out with H, every bar, it's like he knows someone from someone, and it's like, oh, try these drinks, tell me about this new mezcal, or
Yeah.
blah blah blah. It's so cool.
It is cool.
Come out with us, Shane.
Alright, fine. Let's go to Chili's.
Okay.
It's far. I'll go to Chili's. Well, thank you for being here. This was awesome. And thank you for watching. Be kind to you waiters. Be kind to them. And let us know what other kinds of themes, subreddits you want us to cover. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Call it here. Thank you for whoever stopped by and watched for whatever reason. All I gotta say is goodbye. Thank you for stopping by.